Song by Kid Rock. Do you know there's nothing more American than enjoying racing on a Sunday afternoon? The only thing that makes it better is a nice cold brew from the Black Flag Podcast Tavern, conveniently located on the top of Turn 4. And honestly, our friend Alan Jackson already has the best excuse.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, race fans of all ages. It is post time here today at the original family fun track, Hudson International Speedway. On behalf of your track owner, Ben Bazowski, your general manager, Steve Gran, and your two chief starters on the flag stand, Joe Briggy and Matt Johnson, give the crowd a wave, gentlemen. My name is always John S. Burnett, the voice of the Hudson International Speedway, up here in the Bazowski Broadcasting booth, ready to call today's racing action, and boy, do we have a card for you. 7 feature events on tap here this afternoon after Mother Nature not being too kind to us here in the last couple of months. A lot of precipitation here in the Hudson area and surrounding areas. A lot of rainout's been happening at the local short track, so some makeup events going to happen here today. For the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stocks, they will run Twin 20s. The New England Dwarf Car Series are in town after 2 rainout attempts here at the Hudson International Speedway. They are in town for Twin 25s. It is the Sonia Bill Fred Memorial for the Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners, the Ground Pounders. The NHSTRA Vision Modifieds are in-house, and right here before you, qualifying efforts are on the Speedway for the Granite State Gun Range 6-shooters. They will be running the 75-lap Steve Krupski Memorial here later on this afternoon. Up here in the booth today, And I am happy to announce my good friend here. It is his first time here at Hudson International Speedway. It is Nick Marshall. How we doing here today, Nick? Or Nick Adams. I don't even know why I said that. Nick Adams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are primed for action here at the Hudson Speedway tonight. These drivers are going to put it all on the line to go out there tonight and leave here with a win in their back pockets, and
There's some hardware in the back seat of the pickup truck. That'll be a nice thing for some of these drivers as we get ready for qualifying action for the Granite State Gun Range 6-shooters. We got Tristan Bodwell in the 17X with Steve Miller Jr. to our outside. Another 17 up there. That's the plain 17 of Peter Jarek, and he'll have Chris Chadwick in the only wagon out there. That's the 20 machine. Chris Chadwick making his return.
We have the 83 of Doug Churchill on the inside, back there in 5th position. On the outside, we're going to have Steve Miller in the number 79.
That's actually the 11 machine. They got scoring backwards up here on the race monitor, so we'll have to go by something else. Timing and scoring not working, so we'll have to get that figured out. But shortcut, Cody Parker in car number 11 making his return. Former Thunder Light Youth Division hot shoe has made his way back into local short track racing action weekly in car number 11. He'll start caboose here in heat race number 1 as Matt Johnson looks him over and lets him loose.
As we go off into turn 1, we have the number 79 of Steve Miller. To the inside is going to be Tristan Bodwell. Tristan's going to lead him down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. The 17 slides to the inside, locks it up into 3 and 4. We come around to complete lap number 1.
Peter Jarek trying the inside early on the 79 machine of Steve Miller Jr. Father-son pair is the 79 machine. You'll see Dad out here in the second qualifier. Next up on the speedway for the 75-lap Steve Krupski Memorial. Looks like Tristan Bodwell in the 17X going to come around and lead lap 2.
Lap number 2 goes to him. Off into 1 and 2 this time. Single file throughout the field. The number 17 has a car and a half between him and the 79. We look in the back of the pack. It's going to be the number 83 of Doug Churchill going to the inside of Cody Parker. Through 3 and 4, we have a battle for second heating up as we cross the start-finish line.
Man, the battle is hot and heavy still out back. The 83 at Doug Churchill has it by about a half a car length. Shortcut, Cody Parker not going down without a fight. He's going to rim ride the outside of the Family Fun track here. Cross flags are coming up. We are 4 laps in, and 4 laps remain here for the 17X of Tristan Bodwell out of Sanford, Maine.
And as we look back to that battle for 5th, Cody Parker still battling hard on the outside of Doug Churchill. They are side by side, lug nut to lug nut on the exit of turn 2. Up in the front, you see the number 17 locking it up into 3 and 4 again as the battle continues for 5th as we cross the start-finish line.
Good racing all throughout the field here early in the day for the Granite State Indoor Gun Range 6-shooters. Top 3 cars all in contention for a heat race win. Popsicle sticks are going to fly. 2 laps to go.
2 to go as we come. There might be a battle for the lead brewing. Steve Miller beginning to look at Tristan Rodwell, maybe for that move. Rodwell up a line and a half up off the bottom. Here comes the 79. Will he make the move into 3 and 4? He almost put the bumper to him, but it looks like as we come out of 4, they're going to be side by side to the line. It's going to be Tristan Bodwell with the win.
White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. 1 more trip. Steve Miller Jr. was trying the inside, tried to climb up the driver's side, unable to get the momentum rolling on the inside. Checkered flag this time by 8 laps complete, and they're all led by the 17X of Tristan Bodwell. 79 machine of Steve Miller Jr. The gangster of love, they call him. The Judd's Automotive, number 79, takes second. Third place will go to the pistol, Pete Jarek in car number 17. Chris Chadwick in the 20 and Doug Churchill in the 83 will round out the top 5. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Bodwell nails down heat race number 1. A guy working on audio.
Sorry about that.
And we still got 1 more heat race for the 6-shooters. NHS TRA Vision Modifieds rolling into the infield technical inspection area to get weighed before their time trial qualifying efforts here shortly. Not much qualifying to do here this afternoon with 7 feature events. As I said, twin features for the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stocks, as well as the return of the New England Dwarf Car Series. Here comes heat race number 2 on the speedway for the Granite State Indoor Gun Range 6-shooter Steve Krupski Memorial. On the pole, the Torromeo Industries MTM flooring number 25, New Hampshire of Michael Yetton. And to his outside, that's going to be the Space Cowboy, the Thibodeau Racing Harpoon IPA number 68 machine for Steve Miller Sr. Mike Comtois in car number 52 NH in the Pioneer Automotive ride will bring up the inside of row number 2. And we gave him some gripe in the pit area, and it came back to bite me. I couldn't read the number on the driver's side door of the number 5 machine of the villain, Scott VN. Robert Taylor, the 77 machine, will start caboose on the field as we come to the Bumpy's Auto restart zone to take the green. Green flag is out, and we're underway. We fly down into turn number 1. Michael Yetton going to lead the charge on the bottom side of Steve Miller Sr. Side by side, still back for the 3rd spot. The villain, Scott VN, rim riding the top side of the raceway.
As we go off into turns 1 and 2, the 25 sliding up. Michael Yeaton with Steve Miller right behind him. We're going to have a battle for 3rd here as we go off into 3 and 4. Mike Comtos with Scott VN right behind him.
One around in turns 3 and 4. Look at that. Keeps it going. Keep your foot in it, Robert. There you go. Robert Taylor on the move.
And we stay green as we battle down into 3 and 4 again. Single file throughout the field with the 25 leading, the 68 in 2nd. The battle might begin again for the lead as we go into 1 and 2.
Yeah, we got 2 top dogs of the 6-shooter class battling out for heat race number 2. Cross flags in the air. We'll have 4 laps in and 4 laps remaining at the start-finish line. It's the 25 of Michael Yetton leading them back to the stripe.
Michael Yetton in the lead. In 2nd, you do have Steve Miller. Steve trying to battle hard, going up about a lane and a half, trying to get a little bit of a run there on the number 25 as we go down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Still single file throughout the field. We got 1 car pulling off the track. 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, 25 New Hampshire of Yetton leads them. Team car 52 New Hampshire. Mike Comtois has to retire that automobile early. See if he'll make it back out for the 75-lap main event next time, as we have the 2 to go signal out. 2 laps remain for the 25 New Hampshire.
2 laps to go, and I'm not going to call the checkered flag early again, folks. I promise that. Off into 1 and 2. We're still single file all around the field. This looks like it might be Michael Yeaton's win, but we do have another lap and a half to go as we come through 3 and 4. And there might be a battle this time off in a 1 and 2, but no, Steve Miller's going to be content with 2nd. It looks like he gets a big run out of 2. Maybe puts the bumper to his teammate. It puts the bumper to the 25 in 3 and 4, but he's not going to. Out of 3 and 4, the number 25 of Michael Yeaton's going to win this heat.
Yeah, no stranger to the checkered flag here at the Family Fun track. Michael Yetton nails it down, the Pioneer Automotive sponsored entry. Steve Miller will take 2nd, and 3rd to the villain, Scott VN, who's not a regular competitor here at Hudson. He's only had, I believe, a couple handfuls of debuts here. So a good run for the top 3, good run for all competitors. Not many cars torn up, so looks like all cars will start the 75-lap main event, Steve Krupski Memorial, later on this afternoon. But right now, we're going to get down to some business. Next on the Speedway will be the Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners, and they will qualify for later on the SBF Memorial in honor of 3 fallen employees that we lost last year here from the raceway. Sonia LeClaire, Fred Marshy, and Bill Callan, all in a short time of, within about a month and a half, we lost all 3 of those employees, and they were all very vital to us here at the short track. So we have this race here today in honor of them. Today we race for our fallen employees, Sonia, Bill, and Fred, and they will have a 30-lap main event for the Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners. The rest of the field for the Nastra Modifieds are starting to pull into the infield for technical inspection. They will go over the scales directly in the infield in front of the Mayflower box, and they will head to the left side of the X to start staging. They will roll out in qualifying in order reversed from times in the final practice. But here we go. Qualifying efforts now for the Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners. Want to give a big shout out here to Kim and Stacy Callan. Kim and Stacy, Bill's daughters in the house. Brian Callan, his son, is up in the tower calling all the shots here today. So it's a family effort here at the Family Fun Track. Absolutely love to see it here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. The Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners are rolling out. Starting on the pole, going to be the number 37 machine. NRG Fuel on the side for Zach Frazier. And to his outside, the number 7 machine. Hometown kid out of Hudson, New Hampshire. It's Richie Morocco.
Starting in third is going to be Callie Osborne. In fourth is going to be Heath Dabutz. Back in fifth, Joseph Frazier. Sixth, Mike Dube. And seventh, going to be Brian Coswell.
Mike Doobie Jr., the 51 machine. He is the inaugural race winner. When we brought this division to this raceway last year, the 51 machine came out strong. He was the first ever winner. Joey, they call him Squirt Gun Frazier, in the 37J, has found himself right at home in this caliber of car. His first trip here at Hudson found himself in victory lane. His brother, Zach, in the 37J, is going to lead him to the green flag this time by. They let him loose.
And here we go off into turn one, side by side throughout the field. It's going to be the number 7, Richard Morocco, taking the lead. Zach Frazier in second. In third, we have a little bit of a dust-up in the back. But in third, it's going to be Heath Dabutz. Fourth, Callie Osborne. Fifth, Mike Doobie. And we have a battle for 6 as they come out of 3 and 4.
37Z. Identical cars, him and his brother back there in fifth trying to make a move, but Zach Frazier is going to lead him down the back straightaway, starting to open up the gap between him and the 7 machine of Richie Morocco. As you see, the team cars have a couple of splits in between them. Morocco and Doobie trying to keep them at bay as they know it's a strong team. Coming up on the outside now, Heath Dabutz, teammate behind him, the 37J. Nottingham Fuels on the side. Gives the tap now to the 51 machine of Doobie. Good racing here in the first qualifier here. 3 laps in. Going to be shown the halfway signal this time by. 4 in, 4 to go.
A little bit of short track action there. A little bit of bumper to bumper through 3 and 4. The 51 slides up a little bit. He's going to get the bumper given to him again out of 3 and 4. But we're going to continue down into 1 and 2. And the 73 is going to slide up a little bit. The 51 still trying to make that pass down the backstretch.
Man, the 76 washes up the raceway. Heath Dabutz goes way up almost to the concrete. He'll lose his spot to the 51 of Doobie. And now the teammate. Here comes Joey Frazier to the inside.
Joey Frazier to the inside. He's going to have Heath Dabutz on the outside there. They're side by side on the exit of 2. Dabutz going to let him in. They're going to be single file into 3 and 4. Maybe the 76. Oh, he's going to try it, but the 57 is going to stick his nose down in there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, the number 63 machine, Brian Caswell, got a win up earlier when they brought this division as a guest up to the Wiscasset Main Speedway. Has found himself up in the top 5 with the white flag out and a quarter-mile trip to go. Zach Frazier just about checked out of this one.
Caswell and Dabutz, it looked like that battle was going to begin again, but Zach Frazier has driven away here in this heat. He is probably maybe about 10 car lengths. The 7 car is going to slide up the track. They're going to be side by side, maybe coming to the line.
Oh, yeah.
Across the start-finish line. That was some great short-track racing right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The 7 machine of Richie Morocco holding off the 37J at Joey Squirt Gun Frazier, and they were coming down to that final corner. And I'm telling you what, they call them bumpers for a reason. We'll see if they get used come feature time later on for the SBF Memorial. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Frazier nails down the qualifier.
That was some real hard racing there.
Oh,
really
yeah.
That's what short track racing is all about.
Absolutely. Rub some elbows. Get down into the dirty of it, you know. Next up, we will see some cars that probably shouldn't rub elbows as much. The open wheel, ground pounding, crate modified is going to hit the speedway for time trial style qualifying. They will get 2 timed laps around the High Bank quarter mile raceway. The best of their 2 efforts will go on the boards. As they sit in the infield, we await the first car. As I said, they are going to come out inverted, so reverse of the fastest times in the final practice round. Here we go. First to take time going to be car number 46, the Springfield Paving Automobile. This is Jeremy Zullo. Going to take the green flag this time by. He'll be on the clock.
You know, qualifying's all about how much of a risk you're willing to take and how much you're willing to leave out on the track to really get that extra 10th, that extra 100th to get yourself a pole. You want to start on the inside here at Hudson Speedway, and across the start-finish line, his first lap is going to be a 13.1. Can he improve? We expect to see sub-13-second lap times throughout this qualifying session, if not into the feature. And across the, out of turn 3 and 4, across the start-finish line, he's going to improve to a 13.1. What do you think? That's going to be good enough for pole?
I don't know. 13. Now, the thing is, he was the slowest car in practice, a 13.1. That is actually a pretty quick time around this speedway. So we'll see how he fields up against now the second car. We'll see how he pairs up. This is the driver out of Sterling, Massachusetts. The Pleasant View 62 machine. The Warhammer. Todd Warren, former outlaw sportsman, champion here at the High Banks, going to go on the clock this time.
As you see how hard they are pushing to get that rear end to come out a little bit out of 3 and 4. Get this car as straight as you can as he slides through 1 and 2.
As you say it.
As I say it, this first lap will be a wash. As he comes out of 3 and 4, he's going to try to get a clean one in this time, a 14.4 on his first lap. That comes down to the second and a half he lost out of 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, he lets it rumble deep off into 3 and 4, going to arc that corner, get it nice and straight, and across the start-finish line with a 13.8 will only be good enough for second.
13.844 for the Warhammer. As I said, the 46 machine at Jeremy Zullo. Strong qualifying effort to kick off time trials here today. The first car out really set a high bar, and now we're going to see the next car come on the speedway. This is a guy who's been behind the wheel for a couple of decades. He'd probably not like that I'm saying that because it's showing his age, but it's fine. He's out of Hudson, New Hampshire. This is the Hudson Heroes Youth Division MLM Diagnostic Services number 29 machine for martial law, Mike Marshall. Going to get the white flag, and next time by, we'll let him fly.
Don't they say that gray hair and experience come with age?
Absolutely. Oh, he's not old. He's seasoned. He is a seasoned individual. Mike Marshall. Here we go. He's going to let the bald eagles fly out of the Bumpy's auto restart zone. Matt Johnson on the flag stand lets him loose.
Let's see if he can push it as hard as Jeremy Zullo did when he laid down that 13.1 off into 3 and 4. He really sails it in there, going to come up a little bit high on the exit of 4. Nice and straight down the front straightaway. 13.3, his first lap good for second. A nice clean 1 and 2. You think he's got enough pace in 3 and 4?
He might. He's looking real strong down to the bottom, real steady off the corner, down to the stripe. Actually quicker the first trip around. He'll settle with a 13.315. I'll tell you what, they just got themselves into that race car, and they've been working and tweaking on it every single week trying to find some speed. And from where they started the 2023 season, that is definitely a big improvement for the 29 team of Mike Marshall. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the speedway, the J&J Trucking entry, car number 69. Driver hails out of Belchertown, Massachusetts, and this is Josh Carey.
Josh getting those tires warmed up, going back and forth, trying to get all the good ready to come out of those tires when he comes around next time, getting the green flag to begin his qualifying lap.
Very beautiful, prepared car. He's going to start to open up the ponies down the raceway, down the backstretch, as he's going to see the green flag this time by 2 laps to set the quick time. 13.183 is the time to beat from Jeremy Zullo.
It's a really pretty line that he brought down into 1 and 2. It was nice. It was about a quarter of a lane up off the racetrack. Same thing in 3 and 4. Off that white line, he's about a quarter of the way up. It's going to be a 13.4. Pretty consistent with what we've seen for that first lap, but we'll see if the second one can be a little bit faster.
Starts to pick it up. You could hear him pedal it out of turn 2. Will it cost him some time? Down to the checkered flag. 13.397, so definitely a pickup there on lap 2. And just outside the 13.315 set by Marshall Law, Mike Marshall in the 29 will still stand strong in the second spot. They're all still chasing that first car out, Jeremy Zullo in the Springfield Paving number 46.
Yeah, we were expecting to see sub 13-second lap times here in that qualifying session.
Well, it ain't over yet.
It's not. We've still got almost half the field to go. I do expect to see them get a little bit faster here as we go through, but Jeremy Zulo laid down a fantastic lap there in qualifying.
Absolutely, a valiant qualifying effort to kick off time trials. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the kid that picked up the $6,000 check earlier this season. This is the Kent Ledoux Family Dental number 03 machine for Nathan Wenzel.
He lets it all fly on the exit of 3 and 4 as he goes down to 1 and 2. Let's see what he can do on his qualifying lap. He had a beautiful exit. Can he continue that into a perfect entry into 3 and 4? He does across the start-finish line. 13-4, pretty consistent again for what we've seen on that first lap.
That's actually the exact same lap time that Josh Carey just ran on his first trip around, so we'll see what he can do down to the stripe. 13-4-2-1, and that will put him fourth quick on the boards. As I said previously, that is the driver that won $6,000 earlier here this season in the annual Choppy Baldwin Quest for the Cup race, but that is not the same car. The stable does produce, I want to say, 2 or 3 cars to the weekly short tracks, and that is the car that TJ Blow normally runs up at the Claremont Motorsports Park. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this guy has been the guy to beat. Every time we hold time trials, he finds himself at the top. It's the J.R. Hudson Horse Transportation, Victory Lane Stables, number 44, the Brockton Mass Kid, Jesse Jacobatis.
Jesse Jacobatis brings it down into 1 and 2. A beautiful line through 1 and 2 down the backstretch, sends it off into 3 and 4. Again, brings it right up against that white line, slides off on the exit of 3 and 4, across the start-finish line with a 13-1 on his first lap. And if he can improve, he might get into the sub-13s, but that right there, that was good enough for provisional pole on the exit
Show
of 3
me
and 4.
12. Oh! 13-003 for the 44 of Jesse Jacobatis. And he does it again. I mean, every time that kid comes out for qualifying, that team has it set up. They find themselves at the top, and they're always fast, just barely. I mean, he was tickling that 12-second bracket.
That was impressive.
That was good. That was real good. And he was loose, and he was fast. So we'll see come feature time. But right now, going to be the Triton Automotive, Whitewater Plastics number 2. The Mercier Automotive the Mercier Automotive, I can't speak. The 2 of Tyler Leary. We'll go with that.
Tyler Leary out of 3 and 4 gets the green flag to begin qualifying into 1 and 2.
He's coming off his first Hudson Speedway win the last trip out. Absolutely.
Well, maybe he's got a little bit of momentum here. Nice line out of 3 and 4, across the start finish, 13-2-2-2. Much faster than most of the first laps we've seen. Let's see if he can improve. We might see 12s up on the board there, ladies and gentlemen.
What do we got here for the defending Monadnock Speedway champion? 13-2-6-9. 13-2-6-9. That is actually slower. He was faster the first trip around with a 13-2-2-2, and he will be put third on the boards, the Whitewater Plastics, number 2 of Tyler Leary.
It looked like he just got a little bit loose in the center of 3 and 4. Maybe got a little bit too much of that rumble down there, and it kind of kicked the car out a little bit sideways, lost a little bit of time on the exit. He could have been sub-13, but he'll take what he got, I think.
2 more tries, and we'll see how this will fade out. The number 29 New Hampshire on the Speedway now. This is the Rocky Branch Auto, Willis Auto Repair, NH Lottery sponsored ride for Superman Aaron Fellows.
Aaron Fellows going to try to put down a superhuman lap here. Maybe see what he can do off into 1 and 2. Going to be the same line we saw from our provisional pole sitter, Jesse Jacobatis, on his first run. See what he can do into 3 and 4 this time. It's a beautiful line. Across the start finish, a 13.094. This is the one. I feel it.
That's the fastest first trip around. Superman Aaron Fellows trying to beat Jesse Jacobatis' kryptonite here at the checkered flag.
13.093.
13.093, the second trip around, and that will be his final set time for the 29 New Hampshire of Jesse Jacobatis. Right there on the backside of the 13.003 set by Jacobatis. And the final car on the Speedway now. This kid hails out of Westford, Maine. This is going to be the Little Webb's Tire and Fuel, K-Comp Plumbing and Heating sponsored ride for Jeffrey Battle.
Jeffrey Battle I've heard a lot about him today since I got up here at the Hudson Speedway. I want to see what he's got on this racetrack across the start finish, getting the green into 1 and 2 for his first time. Really nice, clean line through 1 and 2. It was really controlled into 3 and 4. Let's see what he can do this time. Nice, clean exit, nice and straight. Was able to get it straightened up. 13.2 on his first lap. He's going to have to gain almost 2 full tenths to be able to battle for the pole here.
Ramp it up off of turn 4 down to the checkered flag. 13.183. No, 13.254.
Oh, that'll put Jesse Jacobatis on the pole.
That'll put Jesse Jacobatis on the pole. Superman Aaron Fellows to the second spot. Jeremy Zullo third. The first car out got up to the third spot, and I believe the last 4 cars got up into the top 5. So, as we were saying from the start, Jeremy Zullo with a great qualifying effort. Normally, it's not something that you see very often, that the first car out in time trials will get the fast time and hold it for that long. But Jeremy Zullo does good, grabs himself the third place starting position. Jeffrey Battle fourth in the 19, and Tyler Leary, the defending Monadnock Speedway NASTRA Modified champion, will round out the top 5. Later on this afternoon, they will have a 30-lap main event. Qualifying is set and over with right now. It is my favorite time of the day. Nick, it's feature time here at the original Family Fun Track. First of 2 MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stocks Twin 20s today. So 20-lap main event is going to be rolling on the Speedway shortly. A big shout out to Mike Marshall, who we just saw in the number 29 machine, owner of MLM Diagnostics. Always a supporter. At most of the short tracks you go to within the area, you will see his name on a banner, on a sponsor of a car, on a sponsor of a division. So big thank you to Mike Marshall. I know we give him a lot of gripe, but he's a huge supporter of the local short track racing. And here comes the Pure Stock division.
Folks, if you really quickly, if you look off to your left where you're beginning to get blinded by this sun, it's exactly what these drivers are going to be feeling into 3 and 4.
So here's how they're gonna roll down. Starting on the pole, gonna be the number 4 machine, the State Farm Brody Ledoux 603 Metalworks sponsored entry out of Claremont, New Hampshire. I call him the Claremont Spartan. It's Colton Martin.
And in second, going to be the number 40 of Lele Daniels.
Lele Daniels going to start outside pole. Second row on the inside. They're actually swapped right now. Scheduled to be the number 21X of Mackenzie Belisle. Outside of her, going to be the number 73 Junior. You will see his father racing here in the Black Flag podcast here today. It's good for Owen Brandy. Fifth on the grid will be the 72 machine. I believe, and I don't want to speak impolitely, but I believe he is the oldest competitor on the field in the car number 72, Carter Chamberlain. Outside of him in the O'Day's Garage, number 38, this is the guy they call the Ogre, Jim Rhodes.
Back in seventh is going to be the number 16 of Chris Davis. Lining up on the outside of him is going to be the number 72, Zachary Zielinski.
Next car in the starting lineup in the Templeton's Auto Detailing, West Lebanon Feed and Supply. Number 24 is good for Colton Hull. And outside of him, car number 65, Vermont. He drives the beautiful Shaggin' Wagon, the Sanel Napa Springfield Methodist Church sponsored entry for Doug Nelson.
Back in 11th, the number 14H of Andrew Harmon. Rounding and lining up on the outside of him is going to be the number 8Z, of Owen Zielinski.
Yeah, Owen Zielinski, a normal Young Gun Youth Division competitor at the Monadnock Speedway, decided he wanted to come up here and try it out with the adults. So trial and error here today for the City Chevrolet, number 8Z of Owen Zielinski. Tegan Edson in the 57 will line up side a guy who just got his first Pure Stock win over at the Monadnock Speedway. It's Carlos Grenier. Chris Conroy, the 78, will line up alongside Scotty Blanchard in the 56. That's the 56 match. The regular 56 is Dominic Stafford, and Aiden White in the 5W rounds out the field.
And we are green here for 20 laps at the Hudson Speedway. Down into 1 and 2. The top 3 are going to go single file, but we got a hornet's nest behind them. 2 and 3 wide off into 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah, rubbing elbows. Look at the 24 of Colton Hull gets the best of it. 4 wide.
Contact down the front stretch.
Hold them up. The ogre's in it. Keep them going, boys. And we stay green. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Colton Martin going to come around and lead lap 2. Second right now, Lele Daniels. And here comes Chris Davis in car number 16.
Down into 1 and 2. The 16 sideways as he clips the apron. The 7 all sorts of loose on the exit of 2. There's action all around the Hudson Speedway. You paid for the whole seat, but you only need the edge because you're just right there.
Absolutely. Look at this. The move is on now for second. The 16 of Chris Davis going to get by, but here comes Colton Hull. Coming to the bottom side. He'll grab the 3rd spot. Whoa! Right reared. We got one in the outside fence. Yellow flag is out. Just as we were talking about him, Colton Hull, and I mean, what a guy. So Colton Hull has the pure stock up in the outside wall. Found himself here on a Sunday afternoon, decided just to come out and have some fun. A great crew behind him. Was just making the pass to the outside, and I believe the 40 machine got loose off the corner and just touched. I mean, you got offset wheels on the 24 machine. They could have touched tires as well, but the 24 definitely gets the bad end of the stick. The 40 machine of Lele Daniels will pull away from the accident.
Yeah, the 38 got turned in the aftermath behind them there, and I believe what I saw was the 21X of Mackenzie Borshares getting some damage as well. It might be minimal. Can't really tell. We'll see when they go by here, but there was a little bit of contact. It was 3 or 4 cars that were involved in that incident here.
Yeah, and 3 or 4 cars involved before, as we saw, and it's happened before, but I haven't seen it, last that long or actually work out and not get a yellow flag. We were 4 wide coming down this front straightaway there for a hot minute.
They were locked. They were lug nut to lug nut, door handle to door handle down the front stretch. They were 5 wide at one point here at the Hudson race. It's a big track, but I don't think it's 5 wide big.
Oh, no, but they'll try. You know what I mean? It's the old saying. You give them an inch, they'll try to take the mile. You give them 3 lanes, they want 6. That's the old saying, though. What is it? 16 tires turn better than 4.
Hey, that was 20 tires right there, and they were having a rough time going straight. So I think maybe 16 might be the max.
And we got a problem, leak on the 24 machine. Now, that could be a number of things. I mean, the way he hit it could be the most catastrophic thing would really be oil. You could have a coolant leak. One of the lines could have busted, but it could actually be an axle is what I'm thinking because he hit left side wheel first right into the outside wall.
Oh, he hit that wall a ton on the backstretch there.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, the driver got out and is all right.
Yeah, Colton Hall, he's just a guy that's out here to have some fun. And that's what we come out here to do it for. Like I was saying, he built that car. They race up there at Claremont, and they've been bad fast all season long. He came up to the Lee USA Speedway. I shot him a message and said, hey, why don't you, trying to get some more drivers to come down to Lee Speedway, and he showed up, and the smile on that kid's face, he messaged me the next day. I believe he got spun out for the lead and did not finish in the top 3, but he said it was some of the most fun he's ever had. I mean, and I will say, now that he's here at Hudson, it might actually be his debut, even though he just hit the outside wall. This is quite the track to go around. This might have taken the cake. Hudson International Speedway is a forgiving and yet unforgiving track at the very same time. You can see the 24 machine. Car's still rolling on all 4 tires. I know, well, not at the moment, but will.
it would roll if you needed it to roll.
That's right.
You see the front end is a little bit offset to the right, about 5 inches, so there's definitely some serious suspension damage under there.
Absolutely. Well, the team for the 24 machine, the West Lebanon Feed and Supply sponsored entry, going to go to work down there. And I said a great team. I didn't say a big team. I want to say if they brought another crew guy, that would be 1. I know it's him and his girlfriend that come week in and week out. So they'll be down there scrambling to see if they can make it out for the second 20-lap main event. They do have quite some time in between now and then. About 160 laps worth of feature action here at the High Banks in between now and the second 20-lap main event for the Pure Stock. So 160, 180, and 205. So 205 plus 20, 225, 225 feature laps here today on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you big time to Mother Nature for cooperating with us and supplying a gorgeous day here at the original Family Fun Track. It's nice. It's either been rain. Oh, we shouldn't say that. It's either been rain, or when it's not raining, it's muggy, and that's just two things that the voice of Hudson does not like. I can't.
Don't like it either. I prefer what we have today. It's 75. It's nice.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's sunny. It's not humid. Perfect racing weather.
Absolutely, and the crowd knows it. You guys are all out here. Thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting a gorgeous day here at Hudson International Speedway, and all of our sponsors here that make it happen, including Tate Brothers Paving, Granite State Indoor Gun Range, the sponsor of our 6-shooters, AJ's Bar and Grill, a great little sports bar right up the road. If you're looking for a bite to eat or something to drink after the race, make sure you head up to AJ's Bar and Grill, or even Rocco's Pizza on the other side of town. If AJ's is packed up, make sure both of those places, great bite to eat. Cold adult beverages, cold non-adult beverages, anything you want, check out AJ's Bar and Grill and Rocco's Pizza and Grill on the other side. You can head down the road to the Circle K, take a left or a right, and you'll find something great to eat either way. Tell them Hudson Speedway sent you.
Cleanup continues on the backstretch. There is a lot of speedy dry out there. There was a lot of fluid out there, so it'll take a couple of minutes, get the track cleaned up properly to make sure these guys can go back racing fast and safely all at the same time.
Yeah, and something looks like Jason Parker, the back straightaway work. You can see them there with the yellow flag and the even more yellow shirt, just pointed at the 21X of Mackenzie Belisle. Pointed at the right front, and she makes her way to the top side of the racetrack. Matt Johnson is pointing, and now we can figure out what's going on. So Matt Johnson's telling all the drivers to look at Jason Parker in turn 3, and Jason Parker is telling them to scrub their tires through the speedy dry as there is a beach laid down in turns 3 and 4. We're just about getting in there. Speaking of Rocco's Pizza and Grill, prime spot right there.
It's right there.
Right
it's
there.
Under the sign, folks. If you need the number, it's right there as well.
577 YUM with 2 M's. Don't ask me why I remember that by heart. Please.
I'm going to ask you, why do you remember that by heart?
So it used to be under a different name, and I am from Hudson down the road, and it's catchy. So I used to order there all the time because I didn't want to try to figure out what the other phone number was, and 577 YUM. They kept the landline going, and it's still catchy.
It's like the 877 cash now number. That's
right. It's my money, and I want it now. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our concessions open if you're looking something to eat, something cold to drink right now. Also, the Black Flag Tavern for all of those 21 plus in the house tonight. Head on over to the far side, the left side of the property up at the top. The Black Flag Tavern is open, and grab yourself an ice cold beverage. Pure Stock's getting doubled up and ready to do the dance once more. We're 3 laps in out of 20. Colton Martin and Chris Davis on the front row.
Lele Daniels will be on that inside line on the outside line. Can't see from here.
Yeah, the sun's coming down. we're getting the old glare up here in the tower now.
And the green flag waves. They come through the restart zone. And the 16 with a huge jump there. Chris Davis to the lead, clears off into 1 and 2. Chris Davis, Colton Martin first and second. Then there's the battle for third, which rages on through 3 and 4.
Yeah, the shaggin' wagon gets shoved to the outside, and here comes the youngster in car number 57. Tegan Edson will get the fender underneath. We're side by side for the number 4 spot. Oh, 3 wide now. Andrew Harmon to the inside.
The 57 checked up big time, was able to get down to speed into 3. He did clip the shaggin' wagon on the outside. The 14, though, into 4th. He's cruising towards the front.
And we got a heavyweight battle at the front. The 16 of Chris Davis has snuck by the 4 machine of Colton Martin. Martin has a win at all 4 NHSTRA tracks this year.
Martin is really trying to make that 16 make a mistake, looking for any position on the track to put his nose to maybe move that 16 up the track or get knocked down to the inside. We come through 3 and 4. That battle does begin to heat up. It's single file through the most of the field after that, but we're going to keep our eye on the lead here.
We got a battle for the 3rd spot, and he makes real quick work of the 7Z. It's the 14 machine of Andrew Harmon who's flying through the field now.
Now Colton Martin better look in his rearview mirror because here comes the 14H of Andrew Harmon. He's made his way to the front.
Yeah, he's coming hard.
He wants that second position.
Hard charger as of right now, the 14 machine of Andrew Harmon. And we got a spinner at the front.
Around. The tire's off the car.
The Batmobile lost a wheel, and Harmon got away. Chris Davis is around in car number 16.
Now, we do have one around there. That is... I've seen a lot of things.
Right rear
But
gone.
A tire coming off the car in the middle of the corner as the leader, if you don't have any luck at all, and the only luck you got is bad.
I know that 16 machine did come off of a bad wreck. It was one of two, either Claremont Motorsports Park or the Dog, Monadnock Speedway over in Winchester, New Hampshire, both sister tracks to us here at Hudson International Speedway.
He's not giving up.
No, he's going to drive it, limp it, I should say, back to the start-finish line and up into the paddock. And let's see, is it dragging a rotor or is it dragging nothing left? Looks like it's still got a...
This looks like it still has a hub and a rotor on it.
Yeah, okay, so it didn't rip the whole hub out.
It wasn't a major failure, but it was some sort of failure to let that tire come off the car.
Well, coming off a wreck, I know they patched that car together to get it here today. I know they also do have, and it looks like they're actually bringing the ramps down on the trailer now. They do have his former championship car, a Honda CRX, that they brought here today just in case something like this were to happen. It's a double feature, double point, double payout night. It's not the night to risk something like that after patching a car back together and not having any time to test it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Chris Davis must be absolutely livid right now inside that car.
Absolutely, and what you got to be mad at the car at that point, unless it's yourself. Did you put the wheel on yourself? Who put that wheel on? That's the question.
Torque it down?
Yeah. Where did you buy this torque wrench? I want to know. Grab me the receipt right now. Field getting ready to cross up in one. Ladies and gentlemen, we also do, don't forget, the bake sale right here in front of the Buzowski Broadcasting booth. Anything you could want, all sweet treats are now half off. All proceeds go to the backpack drive for the Hudson International Speedway back-to-school night.
You had a chocolate chip cookie yet?
I did have a chocolate chip cookie.
Delicious.
They're fantastic. We got the field racked, stacked, and ready to go. Colton Martin now has a big gun on the outside. Andrew Harmon is charged all the way up to the front row in car number 14.
Yeah, he was my car to watch coming into this feature, and he has been fast through practice. And now, you know, we go back green, and we'll see what happens. The 14 gets a huge jump. That outside line, 2 restarts in a row. And Harmon, as fast as he got to second, is to the lead.
Absolutely. He's going to scream down the back straightaway. Pulls about 2, 3, 4 car lengths on the number 4 machine of Colton Martin. They come back to the stripe to click in lap number 9 of 20.
As we come down the front stretch, look at that battle in the middle of the pack. It's heating up between the 71 and the 78 and the 57, off into 1 and 2. We got another battle in the back there. There is battles all over this track currently going on. 1 for 4th now into 3 and 4.
10 laps in, 10 laps remain. We're halfway home at the start-finish line. Top 5 cars spread out now, run through a freight train all the way back to the number 5 machine who started dead last on the field. He's going to make a charge to the inside. It's Aiden White.
Here comes Aiden to the inside. He's going to get that pass completed on the exit of 3 and 4. Slide up in the line. And he's come all the way from the back, now to 4th on the racetrack.
As well as the number 1 machine of Carlos Grenier. He's made his way one by one. He's battling back there with the 78 machine of Chris Conroy.
Chris is, he's holding him up right now. Got him behind him right there, off into 1 and 2. He's putting that car in the perfect spot if it was my thoughts.
Oh, he's running a great line in the 78. He's got the speed down the straightaways, but it looks like the number 1 of Carlos Grenier just able to pull him that much more through the corners.
Yeah, Carlos definitely has that speed in the corners, but down the straightaways, that 78 gets a little bit of a run. He might have to send it off into the corners a little bit more, maybe let a little bit bump in his racing type move happen.
Carlos in the one machine. It looks like he's starting to develop a little bit of a push center off of the corner. The 78 keeping him honest right there in this bottom groove. He'll try the inside, doesn't quite make it. We got one stopped on the inside of the X. That's Owen Brandy in the 73 Junior.
73 Junior had some issues a couple laps ago on the exit of 2. Might be continuations of those problems. He is really slow off into 3 and 4. We'll keep an eye on that. Back to the front, though. I mean, you look at the 14, he's got what? Half a corner over the number 4.
Yeah, it is easy to say that Andrew Harmon is just about checked out as we have 4 laps to go this time. Actually, 3 to go this time. Andrew Harmon is checked out by a straightaway.
Andrew Harmon through 3 and 4 gets the 3 to go. Down the front stretch. There's a battle for second might be brewing back here a little bit between Colton Martin, Zach Zielinski, and Aiden.
Two to go at the start-finish line, and there he is all alone, the 14 of Andrew Harmon. Second, third, and fourth all right there. Look at Aiden White to the inside for third. Trying to grab the final piece of hardware here in the final stages. To the inside, we drag race down the back straightaway.
Aiden's going to send it into 3 and 4. Big late breaking move. He's going to be able to be the little bit, he just has a little bit more in him right there through 3 and 4. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Here comes Andrew Harmon, though. He's going to come to the checkered flag, and Andrew Harmon is going to win this race.
Down here in MLM Diagnostic Services, Pure Stock Victory Lane. Got the helmet off. He's out of the car, ladies and gentlemen. Let him hear you from the back to the front. Andrew Harmon in car number 14. Well, Andrew, still patching up. Your dwarf car couldn't quite make that here for the New England Dwarf Car Series return, but brought the old Del Sol out and had a pretty good run. Not bad.
Yeah, it was a little rough at the beginning. I really thought I had a flat tire, but just took my time and made it to the front. Want to appreciate everyone for coming out and everyone that helps me. Harris Spray Foam, Tom Harwood, and everyone at Hudson Speedway.
See you in the second feature?
Yeah, I'll be out in the second feature.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Harmon in car number 14. Next on the Speedway, first of 225 lap main events, the New England Dwarf Car Series sitting and staging. Track is clear, and we look ready for the first of 225 main events for this division, the Touring Series. They've tried it here twice already this season. Unfortunately, Mother Nature taking them out. The New England Dwarf Cars going to hit the Speedway for their first main event of the night.
These things, I mean, we talked about it in practice while we were standing here. These things are sweet. I mean, just the way they look and how fast they go around this track and just the sound that comes out of those engines that are in these. They're just absolutely unbelievable.
600cc motorcycle engines. The cars weigh less than 1,500 pounds with a driver in the seat. And we look ready for a 25-lap main event out of the New England Dwarf Car Series. Here's how they are going to roll down. On the pole, going to be the Oh No out of Barrington, New Hampshire. It's good for Chris Sullivan. Outside of him, going to be the 12. Today driving the 31H. That is good for Sarah Hodgson. Row number 2 on the inside. A rookie in the field. Car number 23 is good for Jeremy Rodman. Outside of him, car number 19, a veteran of the class. It's good for Chris Waits. Eric Williams grids 5th on the field, car number 88. He'll share the row with the Monster Energy Dairy Plumbing and Heating number 08 machine of Ryan Carmen. 3-time Dwarf Car champion in car number 30 out of Plastow, New Hampshire. That's good for the Schofield Builders number 30 machine of Dwayne Schofield. Outside of him, car number 67, the Flying Fireman. It's good for Alan Robidas. Doug Dawkins grids next, car number 94. He'll share the row with a familiar name, car number 7Z. That's Zach Zielinski pulling double duty here today. Actually, quadruple duty. Twin features for both of the divisions he's running.
He's tired when he's done racing tonight.
Absolutely, but you love to see it. These guys are here to have some fun. Next row on the inside, another Top Gun here in this division, car number 04. That ride is for sale. It's Stu McCormick. Rookie to his outside, the 08X is good for Caden Roberts. Justin Harris, the 29 New Hampshire, the Skull Bandit, will start on the inside of the 25 machine of Tim Griffith. The Caveman, Kenny Scott in car number 72, next to the 73 of the Superstar Cole Littlewood. The 92Z, that's good for Derek Marsan. Plan B, the 92Z. The 31, the defending series champions Cody Hodgson and Tom the Hulk Hutton bring up the back. The Dwarf Cars go green.
Off into 1 and 2, side by side. We had a little bit of 3-wide action there for 5th on the outside. Down the backstretch, a couple of cars, and we're going to be 3 wide into 3 and 4. The 23 is going to get contact.
Oh, no.
We got cars in the fence, cars off the track.
Yellow flag.
Into 3 and 4 that first time.
Yellow flag is out for the 23 and the 19. Jeremy Rodman, Chris Waits. They were running pretty good down the back straightaway. The 88 machine of Eric Williams threw it in. Car number 88. Eric Williams tossed it right in there in the mix. Got the spot nice and clean. I don't know if he made contact with the 23 machine, but 23 goes around the 19 of Chris Waits way up and off the raceway.
Yeah, the 23, I think the 23 had some contact there. Obviously there was contact. He started to spin around, but we do have some cars
88 machine.
exiting the track.
Yeah, Eric Williams heads pit side. So it is a complete restart. Did they take a lap is the question. If they took the lap at the start-finish line, then...
The caution was out in the middle of 3 and 4. By the time the leaders got through the restart zone coming out of 4 to come to the end of the first lap, they hadn't taken a lap yet.
So timing and scoring showing 1 lap clicked in. We'll see if they bring it back to a complete restart here for feature number 1 of the New England Dwarf Car Series. It's been a hot minute since these guys have been strapped in and ready to race. Just under a month ago, they were at the Star Speedway for a 29-lap main event. And after the rainouts, unfortunately, due to Mother Nature here at the High Banks, it's been quite some time trying to make it up. They also did not have a heat. They did have an extra round of practice. So I'm sure tempers are a little hot. Testosterone's probably boosting for some of these guys. And it's been a long while. We'll see. It's, like I said, double points, double pay, double feature It's a big night at the racetrack if you can make it happen.
Yeah, and to have problems with less than a lap completed is not the way you wanted to start it if you're the 23, but it looks like the 23 is going to be able to continue.
Yeah, the 23 machine is out. The 19 is out. I have not seen the 88 machine of Eric Williams rolling through the pits yet. '19 of Chris Waits looks like he's going to park that ride. The Labonte Electric sponsored entry. Trying to get the lineup straightened out here. The oh no of Chris Sullivan will be on the pole once again alongside Sarah Cupcake Hodgson, the stepmother to the defending series champion. You see him passing the start-finish line right now, the Pell Air number 31 machine of Cody Hodgson.
He's got a ways to go through this field. Well, maybe.
Trying to get his spot lined up correctly. It looks like he'll have a conversation there with the corner worker. And we get ready to cross him up in one at the stripe. No go at the start-finish line. Yellow flag is out as the 31 machine of Cody Hodgson comes to a stop on the outside of turn 2. Gets that car fired up. It looks like he just stopped to say hello.
Asked him how his day was going. Maybe asked him if he liked, if he had a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, asking if he had a chocolate chip cookie yet from the bake sale. If they have anything left, it's still half off right up here in front of the broadcasting booth. As I said, all proceeds go to the backpack drive for Hudson Speedway back to school night.
I do have an unfortunate update for you. The chocolate chip cookies, all sold out.
Oh, well, that's the worst news of the day right there. But warranted. They were good. They were good.
They were.
And we have the wrecker on the speedway now. They might be checking track surface. Checking the track on the bottom side of turns 3 and 4. Andrew Hennessy in the wrecker gets out and grabs a piece of something. So I believe the 31 of Cody Hodgson walked up, or drove up, I should say, drive-through service here in the corners. Drives up and says, hey, there's a little piece of something there. We got it picked up, and it looks like we're ready to go. Corner workers back, the wreckers to the infield. The New England Dwarf cars are lined up, and we're ready to go. They did complete one lap due to timing and scoring. So one lap in. 24 laps remain. The oh no of Chris Sullivan. The 12 of Sarah Cupcake Hodgson. Gonna come down to the bumpies on a restart zone. Down to the stripe. We're underway. And Dwayne Schofield around in front of the field.
And they're gonna continue.
See if he can keep it going. Yellow flag is out. The 30 machine of Dwayne Schofield and the 67 of Alan Robidas. The Flying Fireman, we call him here in the 67 machine.
Remember how we had a question if they completed the first lap? We could tell you they didn't complete the second lap.
Yeah, they 100% did not complete that second lap.
So we'll line them up, try again.
And they went all over the place. The 08X machine of Caden Roberts right there at the start-finish line. He was way up on the Angels Expressway, up on the outside of the racetrack.
Some kind of fluid on the exit of 3 and 4 here.
I believe that's water. We had that same little puddle happening last week. A little bit of water just finds its way up. If you had seen the infield when we showed up here this morning, we had ourselves a swimming pool that we drained out. A lot of rain came through the Hudson, New Hampshire area yesterday afternoon and just piled up on the infield right there in turn 3, coming up to the white line on the inside of the raceway.
So we'll line them up again. We'll give this a third shot. Sarah Hodgson's getting a good couple of practice starts here to be able to take that fight to Chris Sullivan off into 1 and 2. She's really going to learn how he restarts through that restart zone, be able to maybe kind of expect what he's going to do.
So Sarah Hodgson is quite the story when it comes to dwarf car racing. She had herself a Ridge Runner. the beginning of last year, and she brought it out here on an open test day that they do in April here at the Hudson International Speedway every April. Her husband, Jason, brought the dwarf car. That's actually his dwarf car out there now, but it was a different one then. So they brought his dwarf car. They brought her full-fendered V8 race car. Had not raced it once. Brand new car for them. She went out. She tested it a couple times. Well, then Jason says, hey, go out there and try my dwarf car. And the next week, before opening day came, they had sold that Ridge Runner and bought a dwarf car, and she was full-time dwarf car racing from then. And I'll tell you what, it's been great to see her grow into these style classes. She's been through a number of cars between renting cars and getting her car built. And even last year when her stepson Cody was up in the championship battle and he broke his car, she gave him hers. And so she's been throughout a bunch of different cars. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially when they're so small and so powerful. I mean, the power-to-weight ratio things in these cars are absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, 600cc motorcycle engines, pretty much just turned on their side. And
when you have a car built for you as well, it's built to your size specifications.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to perform how you want it. You're going to have, what's great about this series is the aero. You're going to have the aero set up exactly how you want it with these bodies. And, you know, you start driving other cars, rented cars, other people's cars, you get different feels.
Oh,
so
different.
You get used to yours.
Even down to the different view you get looking out of these different cockpits. But we look pretty set to go. We're one lap in still. 24 laps remain. It looks like the 67 machine of Alan Robidis, the flying fireman, has been pointed to the back for his involvement in the spinning of the 30 of Dwayne Schofield. The 08X of Caden Roberts has been pointed to the tail as well. Chris Sullivan, Sarah Cupcake Hodgson, Ryan Carmen, Doug Dawkins, Zach Zielinski, the top five. Coming down to the stripe, we go green once again.
And once again, off in a one, Sarah Hodgson, she's going to come under a little bit of threat from the 8 of Ryan Carmen, and she gets passed by Carmen, and now she's got the number 94. Oh, she did pass him into 3 and 4. She did clear him, was able to keep that spot, but there are battles throughout this field.
Yeah, they're all over each other, all the way around the High Bank quarter mile, the family fun track. Down the back straightaway, it's the Ono of Chris Sullivan, the 08 machine of Ryan Carmen. This is one of his best raceways. He's hungry for his first feature win.
Ryan Carmen looked to the inside down the front stretch, didn't make the move into 1 and 2. He is faster. You can see he is faster than Chris Sullivan. He's just waiting for the moment to make his move. Coming down the front stretch, 3 laps down.
Yeah, keep an eye just outside about the top 7 cars. You got the 7Z of Zach Zielinski, the 31 of Cody Hodgson, the 72 machine of Caveman Kenny Scott, all going at it back there for about the 7th spot.
Carmen with a great exit out of 4, back into 1. He's actually fallen off of Chris Sullivan just a little bit. Sullivan was able to make that gap grow a little bit in 1 and 2 this past time. The entry into 3 and 4 is where Sullivan gains a lot of time on him. And this time out of 4, he might have a battle for the lead here in a couple of laps.
Oh, absolutely. They are absolutely flying. None of the cars in the top 5 right now have picked up a feature win in 2023. Look at the great showing on by the 12. Listed as the 31H right there in the 4th spot. That is Sarah Cupcake Hodgson. She's holding her own at the top of the field with the best of the best.
Justin Harris made a nice move off into 3 and 4 that last time. He's fast as well. He's going to get himself in this battle for the top 3. We have more battles throughout the field. Slow cars in the track, they might come into play here for this battle for the lead.
Yeah, the 23 machine of Jeremy Rodman looks like he changed something quick in the pit area. I think he might be a lap or 2 down, but he's on the raceway and he's at the back. They're coming up on him quick. Top 3 cars now under a blanket, quite literally. Chris Sullivan, Ryan Carmen, and the Skull Bandit. Here comes the 29 New Hampshire 2-time Dwarf Car Series champ, Justin Harris.
Ryan Carmen knows he's there. He can feel all that pressure on his back bumper. He knows he needs to get moved on Chris Sullivan, but Justin Harris is just doing everything he can to put the pressure on the car in 2nd place.
And all eyes are now on 5th through 8th. Here comes Dawkins, Hodgkins. I said Hodgkins. Hodgson. That's Steve Grand for you. Caveman Kenny Scott and Stu McCormick all up there in the mix. Hodgson will get by. He's the defending series champion, car number 31.
Keep an eye on him. Hodgson now is completely free. Nobody in front of him except for a lap car. He's got a while to go in this race, and he is going to move his way up towards that pack of 4 that's fighting for the lead.
Chris Sullivan, Ryan Carmen, Justin Harris, Sarah Hodgson, and Cody Hodgson now up into the top 5. Battle for the lead might here. Oh no, here comes Harris to the outside for second. He's waiting on a bobble.
Harris is to the inside. Oh, Harris now to the inside. Justin Harris in a 1 and 2 to the inside of Ryan Carmen. They're going to be side by side through 2. He's going to clear him, and now he's got his sights set on Chris Sullivan.
Absolutely. Sullivan, winless on the 2023 season, is having a great run. He's got a guy with plenty of feature wins to his name right behind him, the number 29 New Hampshire. Here comes Justin Harris on the move.
Justin Harris closed up real big on 1 and 2. He gets a great run out of 3 and 4. He might look to the outside in 1 and 2. He's going to back off, try to do the over-under on the exit. He's going to slide up big time down the backstretch into 3 and 4. He's going to stay where he is for now, but you can see the fire in the fight. We have a spin out of turn 2.
Yellow flag. We got trouble in turn 2, and now Kenny Scott's around.
Yeah.
So we got the 94 of Doug Dawkins, the 04 of Stu McCormick. And man, they had a pretty good green flag run going on there.
They did. There was some steam coming out of the 04, so there might be some further issues in that vehicle than just some worn tires now from spinning around backwards.
Yeah, could be. I mean, so that's another story we have here in the New England Dwarf car. So Stu McCormick had that car built, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, back when the New England Dwarf Car Series were formerly called the Northeast Classic Light under different management, different ownership. Had that car built specifically for him, as you were talking about, and came out and was unstoppable. I mean, he was winning every race, everywhere. You'd have to bet on Stu McCormick. Well, he sold that car, decided he wanted to go big time, big boy toy racing, and bought himself an NHSTRA modified. While he was doing that, he sold the car to one of the McLean boys. I believe it was Dave McLean. It was re-lettered up as the 36 car, and he had some good runs with it. Ended up selling the car to none other than the series owner, Ben Bazowski, who was just going to decide to rent it out here and there, wants to sell the car, and Stu McCormick decides he wants to throw his numbers back on it, and he'll go out and display it. No better way to have a for sale sign on it than right out there possibly winning a race.
Hey, you put a driver that can win, who's proven that he can win, and is willing to drive his heart out with that car, that's the best for sale sign you can have.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's being pushed back to the paddock right now, so it's not a great selling point as of right now.
I mean, it was running great before that.
It's a very well built car. I believe Peabody Motorsports built that car. They are the same team and company that built the gorgeous number 67 of Alan Robidas. Alan Robidas in the 67 was the recipient of the 2022 Best Appearing Ride for the New England Dwarf Car Series. Kenny Scott in the 72 machine is going to make his way back up to his starting spot because he spun out after the yellow flag was thrown. So you spin after the yellow flag, you're not part of the yellow, which was in turn 2. You can get your spot back.
We're going to have 10 laps to go when we go green here. And this battle that we're going to have for this lead right off the start, it's going to be incredible. Chris Sullivan versus Justin Harris and Ryan Carmen is most likely going to be involved in that. And now you've got both Hodgsons right there, ready to battle. Can the outside actually get a good restart this time, though?
Well, I actually, as you say it, I don't think we're going to find out. I think we're going single file restarts. We got a lot of racing action to get through today, and they've already had their fair share of yellow flags, so we're going single file restarts for this. Drivers did not get the memo until it was too late, and that's the old saying. I mean, one guy went at the front, and then they all file in behind him trying to get there. So a little bit of confusion. We're going to show them the signal now. 1 to go. Single file restarts here. 10 laps remain.
Well, that'll actually, I think, give an advantage to Justin Harris because he's going to be right there. Justin Harris is going to be on that back bumper going into 1. He can give him a little shot, maybe move him up the track, or he can make that decision to go to the outside into 1 and 2 on a little bit slower speeds. We come through the restart zone to the green flag.
Green flag is out, and here comes Harris to the outside. Looking out early, they drag race down the back straightaway. Side by side, Sullivan on the inside of Justin Harris, who's going to lead them back to the start-finish line.
What a power move on that restart by Justin Harris. And now Chris Sullivan's going to come under fire by by Ryan Carmen. Ryan Carmen is all over the back bumper. Chris Sullivan through 3 and 4. Chris Sullivan did not get a good restart, and I think his tires might have cooled down a little too much.
Yeah, Sullivan now holding his own, trying to hold some heavy hitters at bay. Ryan Carmen right there. He's got the 31 and the 72 in tow. That's the defending series champion right now, the Rookie of the Year points leader.
Off in a 1 and 2. It looks like Justin Harris is beginning to drive away, but that focal point is going to be the battle for second and third right now. Cody Hodgen in fourth, looking like he's going to maybe make a move on Ryan Carmen here in the coming laps.
4 cars under a blanket. Keep an eye on the 72. He's got the best seat in the house. It's Kenny Scott who rounds out the top 5 with 5 fingers in the air. One around in turn 2.
And the yellow is out. The caution lights are on. We're going to stack them up, and we're going to give them a 5-lap shootout if we don't get another caution.
Yellow flag is out of the back of the field. A single car spin. It's the 08 machine. Another rookie on the field, young Caden Roberts. Another driver who has been very, very good at picking up this caliber race car. Came out of a big, heavy, full-bodied street stock. It was a 3rd-gen Camaro, or actually a 2nd-gen Camaro. Found him and his dad, JoJo Roberts, a former racer in the 6-shooter class. Built this race car, or actually, well, they bought it and then built it up to what it is now. And that driver, the youngster, him and Zach Zielinski, 2 rookies on the field, up at the Monadnock Speedway earlier this year. They raced side by side and hard for the first 8 or 9 laps without letting the heavy dogs pass them. So it's good to see this class and this caliber of car start to come in. Can't thank American Racer enough. These cars used to be on a different brand of tire, and it was a mess. It was like driving on hockey pucks. We put them on these American Racer tires, and these guys and girls love them.
Oh, you can tell the confidence they have in these cars, throwing them off into these corners, the amount of speed they're carrying in, the guts that they're using to get these things to power them out of the center of the corner. I mean, you think small motorcycle engine's not going to provide that much power, but when the car weighs as little as these do, that thing is like a rocket ship.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got all the power you need right there at the tip of your toes. And some of these guys, you can tell, are using all of that rubber compound that they can. For the restart, it's going to be single file once again. A 2-time dwarf car champion under the former name and former ownership management, Justin Harris, is going to lead them back to the green flag next time by. Chris Sullivan, a veteran of the class, going to take the 2nd spot under the green flag. 3rd is Ryan Carmen. 4th, the defending series champ, Cody Hodgson. And rounding out the top 5 right now, the driver out of Salem, New Hampshire, the Prospect Taylor's Bumpy's Auto Repair, number 72, the Caveman, Kenny Scott Jr.
There is no spot on this racetrack that is safe right now. Everybody's going to be trying to get a pass, especially off this restart. Watch for Chris Sullivan to try to do to Justin Harris what he did. They come through the restart zone to the green flag, and Chris Sullivan got another bad restart. He's going to fall about 3 car lengths back, and he's going to be under fire from Ryan Carmen into 3.
Ryan Carmen hungry for another spot. They come single file off the corner with 5 laps to go. It's Justin Harris, Chris Sullivan, Ryan Carmen through the top 3. Here comes the defending series champ, Cody Hodgson.
Into 3 and 4. They're coming to 4 laps to go. The battle for second is going to be on. This is going to get tight. There's going to be bumpers used. Somebody's going to get moved to get that 2nd spot.
Yeah, 3 cars under a blanket. Keep an eye on Hodgson. He's got the best seat in the house. He's got 2 guys who are hungry for a piece of hardware, and they get bigger the further you go up the line.
Hodgson's all over the back bumper of that machine of Carmen. He is right there. He wants that spot. If he can't win the race, he at least wants to get on the podium. Through 3 and 4, 3 laps to go.
2 laps to go at the start-finish line. Popsicle sticks right then and there. White flag going to wave this time by. It's all Justin Harris in the 29 New Hampshire.
Justin Harris sees the white flag, and he knows he just needs to go around and make 2 more lefts, and he's going to be able to win this race. Through 1 and 2, Hodgson all over Carmen. He's not going to be able to make the move that time into 3 and 4. Here comes Hodgson. He's not going to get there. The winner of this race is going to be Justin Harris is going to come home. Chris Sullivan's going to finish 2nd. Ryan Carmen 3rd. Cody Hodgkin is going to finish in 4th, and Kenny Scott Jr. in 5th.
Down here after a long 25 laps. You'll see him back out here for another 25 laps later on to end out the night. The New England Dwarf Cars. He's unstrapping out, getting the bald head out of the helmet, getting the straps off. In full Skull Bandit style. Here he is, Justin Harris in car number 29, New Hampshire. Man, Justin, I know this is technically the backup car for you, and you're getting the bugs worked out of it, but this thing is bad fast. I mean, took him on the outside, took a couple laps to pass Chris, but once you got there, you never looked back.
Yeah, he's got that car hooked up. Congrats to him and Carmen. Those boys were flying. I woke up early this morning thinking I was just changing a third link in this car, and I spent 6 hours doing all 4 springs and shocks. So I thought this thing was going to be a toilet, but this thing's actually rolling pretty good on the outside. Look forward to the second feature. Hopefully it's a little bit cleaner.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Harris in car number 29, New Hampshire, comes home victorious. 75 laps now. The Granite State Indoor Gun Range 6-shooters are on the field for the annual Steve Krupski Memorial. On the pole out of Sanford, Maine, going to be the Shorey Trucking number 17X. It's good for Tristan Bodwell. Outside of her, the Pioneer Automotive, MTM Flooring, Torromeo Industries number 25, New Hampshire, is Michael Yetton.
In third is going to be the number 79 of Steve Miller. In fourth is in third is Steve Miller Jr.
Yeah, two
And
Steve
in fourth
Millers.
is Steve Miller.
That's right.
We're definitely not going to mess that up.
No, not once here today, buddy. The 17 regular, Peter Jarrett, going to start next in line, fifth on the grid with the villain Scott Vienne. Chris Chadwick, the 20, Robert Taylor, the 77, Doug Churchill, the 83, Shortcut Cody Parker in the number 11, and Mike Comtois brings up the back as we get set to let him loose. Off for the Bumpy's Auto restart zone. Double green flags are out. It's time to see that action.
Off into turn one, side by side for third place down the backstretch. We're going to have a dive into 3 and 4. That's Steve Miller on the outside of the number 17. Down the front stretch, complete lap number 1.
Steve Miller trying the outside of the 17X of Tristan Bodwell. He's got his kid right there underneath him. Steve Miller Jr. in the 79.
Steve Miller Jr. versus Steve Miller. A little bit of contact from behind on that old Impala. Sorry, that Monte Carlo down into 1 and 2.
Who's going to prevail for the number 3 spot? Dad wants to get it. The kid ain't giving it to him on the bottom side. Here comes Peter Jarrett in car number 17. He rounds out the top 5 right now with a bumper tag to the car in front of him.
Through into 1 and 2. Father versus son in front of us out of turn 2. They're still side by side down the backstretch. This is a race of attrition. There's 75 laps.
Yeah, Steve Miller Sr. in the 68 machine. He can't stay up on that outside all day long. He's going to wear those sneakers out. The 25 New Hampshire, the MTM Flooring Torromeo Industries-sponsored automobile starting to tiptoe away from the rest of the class. Tristan Bodwell, who was the pole sitter, runs in the second spot comfortably now.
Junior blocked Senior into 3 and 4. That's going to put Senior on the outside. The 17 is going to go with a big slide and a great save from the number 17 of Peter Jarrett. We stay green. Nobody went around into 3 and 4.
That was a slide job on the inside from the 17 machine of the pistol. Pete Jarrett, he climbs up the racetrack now to the 4th spot in car number 17.
17 is all over the track. There is a little bit of smoke trailing out of that number 17. We'll keep an eye on that. As we have Junior now battling. He wants Tristan Bodwell in second.
Yeah, Steve Miller Jr., the Judd's Automotive sponsored ride. Thibodeau Racing on the trunk lid. He's going to try the inside. He's got Jarek into him.
What
Look out.
Save.
All up on the wheel, the 79 of Steve Miller Jr. He's got Senior behind him. Oh, man, Jarrett now going to get the bumper from Dad.
Dad was not happy about that. He saw that. He said, you're not going to rough up my son. And the 17 into 1 again hits that pothole. The back end steps out.
Yeah, Pete Jarrett right now riding the 4th spot. He is the meat in the Miller sandwich. Rides up the raceway again. Here comes Senior trying the inside.
Senior's going to be to the inside of Jarek almost into 1. He gives him the bumper again. Jarek's going to slide up out of the lane. Will Senior take the move into 3? He will not. Look at how far the 17 drives off into that corner.
Yeah, he's trying to get away from the front bumper of the car behind him, Steve Miller Sr. They're both trying to run away now as here comes the 5, the villain, the adaptive driving experience Chevy of Scott, the villain Vienne.
Why do we call him the villain?
I'm not sure. I think he dubbed himself that, to be honest with you. Sounds scary enough. Maybe he's trying to intimidate him.
It's like the Intimidator, but it's self. I like it. It's the villain.
You can put the villain on trademark. I think Intimidator is trademarked.
That might be why.
The 17 Ags now, Tristan Bodwell. The 17 right into the back door of Miller Jr.
How did he keep that straight? That was car control to the max. And Senior is right behind him. And Senior must be absolutely livid. He must be seeing red through his eyes how far he's driving out of that corner into his son.
We're going to find out now. Steve Miller, Senior in the 68 machine, starting to swap up the line a bit. Maybe he might be trying to catch the backside of the 17 machine. He looks way low down into turn number 1.
Steve Miller Sr. almost to the inside that time of the number 17 of Peter Jarrett. down the backstretch. A little bit of pressure from VN on Senior. That might be something that's brewing. Senior might feel that coming and knows he needs to get gone.
Black flag was just waved, and I believe it was for aggressive driving on the 17 machine of Peter Jarek.
Yeah, he was driving it off in there into 3 and 4. I was almost going to say I think he might have a brake problem, how far he's driving it off in there. But Race Control has decided that it is just, he's driving off in there pretty hard.
There's a brake problem. Ain't using them. That's a problem.
I mean, loose is fast, but sideways is a little bit slow.
Oh, yeah, he's got that 17 brought out. They did wave the black flag. I don't know if they're going to wave it again. And no passing flag is out, no black. Maybe it was a warning black flag.
We'll keep an eye on that throughout the rest of the event. But
yeah, to be
battle
continued.
For a second has begun to heat up. I mean, you look at Michael Yeaton, he's gone. Don't even look for him. He's just off in the middle of nowhere, through it by himself. But the battle for second is beginning to heat up.
Yellow flag is waved. There is yellow on the speedway, and I don't see why.
Now, there may be debris, but don't call me a genius. But could that be because they did wave the black flag?
Oh, yeah, they are. So they stopped the race to black flag the 17, who was black flag just a couple of laps ago and refused to listen to Race Control and the flag stand.
There's going to be some words between him and Michael Yeaton, I would foresee.
Oh, the 79, yeah, well, Steve Miller Jr. Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
Senior and Junior are definitely a little bit angry.
Senior just got himself the third place spot inherited to him, or fourth place. I keep forgetting about the 25 New Hampshire. He's been gone all race long out in his own area code. But that's the thing. It's a battle of attrition. As you said, you got to save some tire. And there's really two ways you can go about this. You can save tire until the end and hope there's yellow flags like this, or you can try and run away and hope there's none.
Well, if that was the thought of try to run away and hope there's none, a wrench has been thrown into that plan. And now Michael Yeaton is going to have to come up against Tristan Bodwell, Jr. and Senior, as they double stack here. And, you know, his tires might be a little hot. It's only been a couple laps under caution. He was really pushing. This could be one of those cold tire, like warm tires versus overheated tires situations coming up.
Yeah, and you also have the shade now covering half the track, which is going to start to drop the temperature wherever it lands. So we're going to have a restart here on lap number 17. The green flag is out off of the Bumpy's Auto Restart Zone. A great start from your race leader, Michael Yeaton.
Michael Yeaton down into 1, but there's going to be that battle for second. It's going to be Steve Miller Jr. to the inside of Tristan Bodwell. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Junior is beginning to pull ahead a little bit. Senior's going to follow him through.
Yeah, the gangster of love, they call him in car number 79. And here comes the Space Cowboy. That's Dad in car number 68. He'll make his way to the inside of the Pauls. Junk hauling number 17, exit Tristan Bodwell.
You know, Steve Miller Sr. has seen a lot of the number 17 so far this evening. He probably wants to be done with that, get past this number 17, see the back of his son, try to go past him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Miller boys at all 4 NHS TRA sister tracks have been up at the front of the field and always contending for a race win. And now Miller Jr. is up to the second spot with the 25 New Hampshire of Michael Yeaton, who's led him since the drop of the green flag, will click in lap number 20.
I've begun to watch Steve Miller Jr. He's begun to adjust his line, trying to make himself get a little bit shorter way around the track, trying to close that gap. Steve Miller Sr.'s done the same thing, but he's actually entering 3 and 4 higher than everybody else. It's giving him a better drive off. Let's see if that maybe saves their tires through the 75-lap event.
Yeah, because, I mean, as the tires start to roll off, I mean, they're going to start pushing up the corner coming off, and Steve Miller Sr. is trying to make sure his nose is stuck to the bottom side of the raceway corner exit. It shows right there, the 17X dead ahead of him leaves about a half a car length on the inside of the raceway, wide open on corner exit.
Yeah, you watch Steve Miller Jr., he's beginning to mimic the line that Michael Yeaton has been running in front of him, learning from him. The best drivers in racing will tell you when you're behind somebody, learn from the one in front of you. That's what Jr. is doing. He's learning how to catch the 25 by copying the 25.
Little by little, and it looks like the 79... He's got it stuck to the bottom side of the raceway a little better than the 25 New Hampshire, but that just might be where the extra speed is coming out of your race leader's car.
Yeah, being a half lane up might be giving him that little bit of extra grip, maybe saving those right side tires, just a little bit of pressure as well as they throttle up and exit those corners. We come down the backstretch. We're single file throughout the field. The battle is really heating up for 3rd and 4th, though.
Coming up on lap traffic, it's the number 77 of Robert Taylor. Taylor going to stick his way to the bottom side. You see the rookie stripes on the backside of that automobile with plenty of racing room to the top side of the raceway.
Yeah, Yeaton was able to get by him easily, but Steve Miller Jr. struggled just a little bit more than Yeaton did. That gave Yeaton a little larger lead, as his lead is now up to an entire 9/10 of a second, almost 1 second ahead.
And he's 2/10 faster than the rest of the field the last trip around, so Michael Yetton in the 25 New Hampshire still has plenty of speed left to scrub off.
That he does. We come around the start-finish line, 26 laps complete. We're on lap number 27 through 1 and 2.
The 79 Steve Miller Jr. just ran his fastest lap of the race with a 16.963. He's coming on strong. Has he set the setup for the late stages of the race?
He could have set it up for a long run. He might have hoped that this is what was going to happen. And if that's the case, he'll begin to reel in this car. He goes a 17.1 last lap, about a 10th slower than Michael Yeaton. So, I mean, it was just a one-off.
The 5 machine, the villain Scott Vienne, now nearing the back bumper of the Space Cowboy, Steve Miller Sr. They're the closest battle on the raceway down into turn number 1. Miller able to keep just a little bit between him and the 5 machine of Vienne.
Yeah, Steve Miller and Scott Vienne off into 3 and 4. Vienne is actually getting a better entrance into the corner. Miller getting a better exit. It looks like Vienne rolls the center of 3 and 4 better. He's on the back bumper into 1.
Oh, yeah, throw it in and let it land. Not quite. You know, at least racing hard, but racing respectful back there for the number 4 spot. There's still a lot of racing left. 44 laps remain at the start-finish line for Michael Yetton.
Michael Yetton is led from flag to flag so far. The first 31 laps all gone to him through 1 and 2. It looks like that gap has shrunk a little bit, but it also looks like Tristan Bodwell is coming. Steve Miller Jr. on that last lap ran his fastest lap of the race.
Getting faster and faster. Lap 31, he ran his best lap. Tristan Bodwell just ran her fastest lap of the race on lap 32.
Tristan is all over the back bumper of Steve Miller Jr. If Steve makes a mistake, she will slide through and get to the inside of him and begin to try to grab that leader. As we have the lap car once again in 1 and 2, this might impede Steve Miller Jr. again, and it does just a bit.
Coming down the back straightaway, fastest trip around last time was the 79 machine of Steve Miller Jr. We'll see how they do this time as they come around the lap cars to the 77 of Robert Taylor.
Yeah, both times Michael Yeaton has been able to grow his lead when they found Michael Taylor. It's just been the perfect space for Yeaton to find him in the middle of 1 and 2, and Steve Miller Jr.'s kind of found him at the exit. But we do have that battle for 4th beginning to heat up to the inside. Michael Yeaton, and he's going to pass Steve Miller Jr., senior, sorry.
Yeah, Miller Sr. drops back to the number 5 spot. Not the normal running. I mean, we don't normally see the 68 machine dropping spots here in a main event, but it's also not every weekend that we run 75 laps for the Granite State Indoor Gun Range 6-shooters, but only here today, the annual Steve Krupski Memorial. We got him hitting heavy up in turn 4.
Into the wall there. We got one up in the grass. Not sure exactly who that is. Got rolling again.
It's
Cautions
Doug Churchill.
will wave.
Doug Churchill, the 83 Maine. He got into it with the number 20 machine of Chris Chadwick, and both cars went up towards the outside banking. I'm not sure if the 83 actually made contact. He was on the binders when he came towards the concrete wall, and a right front tire is down, so the 83 Maine lost a right front sneaker. He'll head to the paddock.
Well, if we look at the front battle here, I mean, this changes absolutely everything. Steve Miller Jr.'s gotten faster as this race has gone on. As the caution came out, Scott Vienne, fastest lap of the evening for him, a 16.964.
Yeah, and he set his fastest lap of the race on lap number 36.
So he's coming.
Yeah, I mean, but look at the other cars that have set fast times, their personal fast times in this race later on in the stages. I mean, Steve Miller Jr. at lap 31, Tristan Bodwell lap 32, even Cody Parker back there in the 6th spot ran his fastest time of the race back there on lap number 32 as well.
And Michael Yeaton set his on lap 2, hasn't been able to improve on that. That's not saying he's not running fast, but I mean, his fastest lap was a 16.7. Really can only do that on fresh, brand new sneakers, which we don't have 36 laps into this race.
Yeah, I mean, the second fastest time of the race would go down to Steve Miller Jr. with a 16.857. That's completed best time, so overall, and that is a half of a tenth back.
Yeah.
to the race leader. So they're getting closer, but you also have to think of when they ran those lap times.
As we get closer, the reason we were saying this was a race of attrition. It's not that warm out there, but it is warm for 75 laps for a little six-cylinder.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have a stock, supposed to be stock, 3.8. Some of these cars, I mean, I think most of them nowadays have the 3.8. I know back in the day you had the 3.4s, the 3.6s, and the 3.8s. But now most of everybody has migrated over to the 3.8s with the bigger motors and, I mean, a stock GM six-cylinder. I mean, go grab your Pontiac Grand Am out of the parking lot and come out here and do 75 laps and see what happens.
75 laps of pushing to the max and doing everything you can to get by the guy in front of you, and your car might overheat after that.
Put some water wetter in them. Tug the belts tight. We're coming back green this time by. Michael Yetton, Steve Miller Jr. on the front row to the Bumbies Auto restart zone. The green flag is out down to the stripe.
And through the green flag here, Steve Miller Jr. got a great start. Oh, he's going to get turned. He's going to save it, straightens it up. Save it, buddy. Look at that driving.
What a move.
Turn two. That allows Yeaton to drive away, but the villain, Scott Vian, on the outside. Here he comes for third.
The adaptive driving experience, number 5, going to make his way up into the final podium spot as of right now. He wastes no time trying the inside of Steve Miller Jr. Will he get there down into turn 3? No, he won't.
He's not going to get there into 3, but he is right there. He's giving him the bumpers. He gave him the bumper in 1 and 2, tried to move him up the track, gave him a small little tap, wasn't able to get it done. And now Steve Miller Jr. is kind of settled in, but we look behind him, and there's a battle back there between the 21 and I believe that might be the 20.
It is Chris Chadwick riding the outside of the 11 machine, who's making his return to Hudson International Speedway, and that's good for Cody Parker in car number 11. They're putting on quite the battle. The battle is still hot and heavy for the second spot. Scott Vian finds himself up into the final podium spot, slowing down the 79 of Miller by challenging him. They allow the 25 New Hampshire to start to tiptoe away.
Yeah, I really wonder who is faster here. If Scott Vian, if he can get by Steve Miller Jr., can he run down Michael Yeaton? That is the question, because I don't think Steve Miller Jr. could do it.
Scott Vian just turned his fastest lap of the race on lap number 39.
That battle between Cody Parker, that has settled down, but the battle for second has begun to heat up. Scott Vian looks to the inside of Steve Miller Jr. down the backstretch. He's going to send it into 3 and 4, break late. Miller's going to close the door.
Miller Jr. will hold on and keep the 5 at bay. Miller Sr. in the 68 machine trying to get the 4th spot away from Tristan Podwell in the 17X. They're all chasing the Tormeo Industries number 25, New Hampshire of Michael Yetton.
Scott Vian was pushing it to the limits going into 1 and 2. He was sideways. He's going to try to make the move this time. He really can't. The way Steve Miller Jr. is framing that corner, Scott Vian may have to move to the outside, try to make a pass around the outside.
And Michael Yetton in the 25 New Hampshire is loving the racing behind him. He's starting to tiptoe away, getting further and further from the second and third place cars as they duke it out for the second place trophy here tonight.
1.7 seconds. That is the gap between first and second. The gap between second and third, that's about a car length and a half into 3 and 4.
As they come around the lap car now, again, the 77 machine of Robert Taylor giving respected racing room to the outside of the track. Second and third will get by. It's a clear track ahead of them all the way to the backside of Doug Churchill, who just crosses the start-finish line there.
VN could not have hit that lap traffic at a worse point. He was to the inside of Steve Miller Jr., had the move begun, and when he hit the lap traffic, he had to slow down and move up to the outside. That allowed Steve Miller Jr. to close the door, and now it might be another 10 laps before he gets an opportunity to go to the inside.
Well, in 10 laps, we'll be really in the late stages of this one as we click in lap number 47 at the start-finish line out of 75 for the annual Steve Krupski Memorial. The Granite State Indoor Gun Range 6-shooters putting on a show.
Into 1 and 2. The field is single file throughout, but that battle for second continues to get warmer and warmer and warmer. And at some point, if you're Scott Vian, you got to look at Steve Miller Jr. and go, listen, I want to race you respectfully, but at this point, you are stopping me from being able to run down Michael Yeaton. I'm going to move you out of the way.
Yeah, it's time to go. I mean, Yeaton's just getting further and further away in the MTM Flooring Chevrolet. Battle is on hard and heavy still for second. Miller Jr. has had it comfortably, or I'd say just had it at least for the last 15 or so laps. Scott Vian has been trying to muscle his way around him in car number 5, just hasn't seemed to find some daylight underneath that 79 machine.
Yeah, Scott is doing. He's going to give him the bumper into 3. He gives him a little one of those shots that Dale Earnhardt used to give everybody. A little, hey, I'm here. I'm going to move you if you don't get out of my way. And there might be an issue on the number 5. There's a lot of smoke, and that could be terminal. The caution is out.
Yeah, they had a car around.
There's a spin in turn 3.
It's Doug Churchill, the 83 main. Man, that 5 machine is really up in smoke.
Yeah, the 5 knows it's a terminal issue.
Yeah, he pulls off the raceway to try to keep the track surface unslicked. Oh, wow, it's really up in... I don't know if it's steam, smoke.
It might be on fire.
It could be on fire. I don't think it is. They're not really rushing around that thing.
There is fluid where he came off the track.
Yep.
Could be a could be a transmission line, could be a coolant line. Based on how many laps we've run currently, you know, I'm going to guess it's a coolant line.
Yeah.
I popped a coolant line getting too hot. It's probably cooling all down the backstretch into 3 and 4. It's going to take a little bit while to clean up.
Well, and you almost wonder now that they slow down. I mean, the engines aren't up to speed and not getting the RPM they would under a green flag conditions, but they're also not getting the air into the front side of the race car to cool them down. You always hear it from the drivers. I mean, it's hot in a race car, but it gets hotter and hotter when you're under yellow.
Yeah, at least when you're going green, you have that regular wind that's coming through to cool you and the car down. And we talked about the possible overheating issues of these V6s. Sitting here now under caution, slowing down, half race speed, you might start to see some more overheating issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an absolute battle of attrition, not only for the drivers under the helmets and behind the wheels of these race cars, but the physical race cars themselves. And we're going to find out with just over 25 laps remaining here in the annual Steve Krupski Memorial.
You can see the speedy dry in 3 and 4. And if you just follow the line on the racetrack that Scott VN was driving, I would bet you there is oil or whatever that substance is that was coming out all around this racetrack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see him laying down the speedy dry. Speedy truck. Hudson International Speedway safety crew is on the scene. They're going to get that in, get it worked in, and we'll send them back green. So now we have worn-out tires. We have hot motors. We have very worn-out drivers now after 50 laps, and we have oil on the track. So we will see how this works out come the restart green on lap number 50. We have 49 complete out of 75. Steve Krupski, we race in his honor here today. What a staple he was at the Hudson International Speedway, the Lee USA Speedway, the Star Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire. He was the man. You'd see his classic red Ford pickup truck, and he was usually the first guy in and the last guy out. He'd mow the lawn here at Hudson. He'd shut the lights off at the end of the night and yell at you to get out of here. So we miss Stevie. We miss when he'd run around. He'd chase groundhogs, throw Pepsis at him. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but if you've been here at Hudson Speedway long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Threw Pepsis at groundhogs?
Oh, yeah, he'd throw a Pepsi at you.
I feel like I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he'd come in handy on a hot day. Have a Pepsi, and he'd throw one at you. Always had a cooler full and a smile on his face, so we race in honor of you today, Stevie. Godspeed. Mr. Krupski is definitely missed across the New England racing region, a staple here around the area, and it's a great day here at the Hudson International Speedway. Mother Nature is cooperating with us. A great crowd to honor not only Steve Krupski in this six-shooter race, but Bill Callen, Sonia LeClaire, and Fred Marshy. All names are on the memorial trophies for today's Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runner race in the SBF Memorial. So we honor fallen employees here today at Hudson International Speedway. We are one big racing community. You hear the community say often that we are not only just racers, competitors, workers, whatever you call us. We are one big dysfunctional family, and when one goes down, we make sure that we take care of those. So big shout out to Steve Gran, Ben Bazowski, and all involved today for having these memorial races, and an even bigger shout out to the crowd here today for coming and spending your Sunday afternoon here with us. All the people watching live, yes, I said live, ladies and gentlemen, on NHSTRAvision.com. All 4 tracks, ladies and gentlemen: Monadnock Speedway, Lee USA Speedway, Hudson International Speedway, and the Claremont Motorsports Park. If you go to these racetracks, if you don't go to these racetracks, if you want to see the action there and you're unable to make it, NHSTRAVISION, that's NastraVision.com, where you can get yourself a yearly subscription to watch all 4 tracks, all events, right there on your phone, computer, or TV live at home, or wherever you are across the great 50 states of America, NHS TRA Vision has you covered with these 4 tracks, and all of their events, you can buy them at a yearly subscription or a pay-per-view price. Mark Beaudry and his whole crew is on the scene here today. Also a big shout out to Hudson Community Television and Pete Lanzilla with short track, late model stock car racing. YankeeRacer.com is on the Speedway here today. Nicholas Tito, always great websites and great productions that you should check out. And if it wasn't for people like them, a lot of this information would get lost over time. I mean, they document and they keep all of these records, so we can't thank them all enough for being here today. Once again, big shout out to all the people that either bought the pay-per-view or have a subscription to National Vision. We appreciate you very much, as all of that goes right back in to what we love, these little oval tracks paved in to small towns across the country. Right here in Hudson, New Hampshire, you can tell this is, I believe, it definitely is the smallest property that a racetrack is on in the state of New Hampshire. I believe we're on 14 acres, and we make it work, man. I'll tell you that much. Steve Grant, I think we ran out of spots today in the parking lot. That's nothing. We've had them parked out in the outer parking lot. I've been here long enough. I've seen them parked down at the Circle K at a gas pump. But, yeah, they do a great job packing them in. Ben Bazowski, big shout-out to that guy. Beautiful infield for those of you guys that have never been here. You can see it's a great facility. For those of you that have been here for years, you can appreciate it that much more because you know what it comes from. The outside wall, as I was talking to you, Nick, earlier on, it's your first time here. The outside wall is all new. The inside wall is new. All that grass and dirt you see in the infield is new. The pavement, everything's new. The gorgeous bleachers you sit on, those have been put in for a couple years now. And it takes a great team. It takes, Ben Bazowski, you can actually see him. If you look at track entrance at the top of turn 2, you see the guy waving his arms with the white shirt right behind the wall right there, the little red dot. That's the big guy. That's Ben Bazowski. That's your track owner of not only here at Hudson International Speedway, but the Lee USA Speedway, and partial owner of the Claremont Motorsports Park. He does it all for us. I mean, he really puts his heart and soul into his team, and the team puts their heart and soul right here into the track. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, just thank you so much for coming out here on a Sunday afternoon and spending your time with us, spending your hard-earned cash right here at the ticket booth. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a couple more bucks to spend, we have all Hudson International Speedway official gear for sale right here underneath the Bazowski Broadcasting booth. The ice cream stand is open, the concession stand is open, as well as the Black Flag Tavern over on the top side on the left of the property. Get a nice cold adult beverage over there. But, yeah, we are absolutely stoked. It's a great day. The pits are packed. Everybody's got a smile on their face, and Hudson Speedway has race cars on it. Right now, you can see them dragging the tires around, trying to get that speedy dry worked up. It must have been the 5 machine of the villain Scott VN. Whatever fluid it was leaking out of that race car has been laid down around the entire racetrack. So we'll have a couple laps more under yellow. They get the Buffalo blower right on the backside of the Toyota Tacoma up there in turn 3. They'll blow all the speedy dry to the infield, and we should be able to restack, re-rack, and let them loose. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 cars remain here. 49 laps in out of 75. And we're going to have ourselves a little shootout here at the end of the Steve Krupski Memorial Race. So going to be a good finish. Michael Yetton has led them all. Now, the tires are going to start to cool down, especially under this amount of time. Now the engines are probably having enough time to start to let the needles drop on the gauges. So all of the homework, all of the preparation, the strategies, all of the tire saving that you've done up to this point has potentially been thrown out the window, and we have ourselves a half a clean slate. So it should be pretty good to see this as we get ready to go. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action here at the Family Fun Track 1 week from today. Or, I'm sorry, it is 2 weeks. The 13th of August. Sunday, August 13th, same start time, 5 o'clock. One of my favorites, the Open Pro Stocks, going to be making their way back to town. The Pro Stocks are going to be in the paddock on the 13th of August, along with the return of the Pro Truck Challenge, presented by Evolve Bank and Trust. Marshall Hurley, Lorraine Pard, John Gates, and the rest of the officiating crew and their great drivers going to come to town. They bring guys from all over the place, from New York, from Rhode Island, from Connecticut, and they bring those pick-em-up trucks up here, beat and bang them up for 55 laps and put on a show for you guys. So you'll want to make sure you mark your calendars the 13th, 2 Sundays from today. You will see the Pro Truck Challenge from Evolve Bank and Trust, the Open Pro Stocks, the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stocks, and the late models. All going to be back in town. The Northeast Auto Import late models, as I always mention, the best support division across the 50 states of America. If you're looking to get your racing fix in, if you're a Hudson Speedway loyal fan, as you should be, we are not racing next weekend here at the Family Fun Track, but they are racing up the road, just about 40 minutes up the street. Head on down to the Route 125 Revival in Lee, New Hampshire. New Hampshire Center of Speed is back in action with the Wing Warriors for the Ollie Silva Midsummer Classic. The 350 Super Modified is going to be in town at Lee USA Speedway on August 5th for one of their marquee events. So make sure you check that out. If you have any questions about tickets or information, head on over to www.leeusaspeedway.com.
It just sounds funny.
Why?
This one.
It's because we never used it.
No, I know, but
Yeah, I know. We've never had. All right, doubled up and ready to go. Michael Yetton, Steve Miller Jr., Tristan Bodwell, Steve Miller Sr., and now Chris Chadwick run through the top 5 with 26 laps remaining here in the Steve Krupski Memorial. Coming down to the Bumpy's Auto restart zone. Whoa, no. And try that one again. I believe the yellow flag's going to come out. That was an early start from the 25 New Hampshire of Michael Yetton, fired well before the restart box. So on an initial restart, for all race fans that don't know, on the initial green flag, it all goes off your flagman. On any restart, the leader sets the pace, and they can fire once they get into the restart zone between the white and yellow lines. Better start that time. Green flag going to fly.
And here we go, back down off into 1 and 2. Michael Yeaton, he is going to have, it's going to say in your time in scoring that it's Scott Vian, but it is not. It is Steve Miller Jr. in second, with Steve Miller Sr. right back in there in third. Right now, back battling here. He could possibly win this race.
Yeah, coming now. I mean, like I said, all the tires are cooled down. We're almost on a half a clean slate. He's going to make his way up to the third spot. He gets by the 17X of Tristan Bodwell, and he's going to go try to battle with his kid in the 79. Single file we head down the lap number 51 at the start-finish line. I believe he's led him since the drop of the green. Yes, he has. It's Michael Yetton.
Michael Yetton in first. In second, Steve Miller Jr. Third, Steve Miller Sr. In fourth is going to be Tristan Bodwell. In fifth, Chris Chadwick. That battle for second, it could heat up. It does look like, though, Michael Yeaton continues to get faster and faster as we go throughout this race. 0.2 faster than the second place Steve Miller Jr.
Yeah, he's holding strong. He's not only fast, but he's fast and consistent in the Torromeo Industries number 25 New Hampshire. He's going to lead him back to the stripe once again with about 4 or 5 car lengths in between him and the 79 of Steve Miller Jr.
22 laps to go here in this 75-lap race. All 53 been led by that number 25. Steve Miller Sr. is the one putting pressure on the second-place driver now, though, of Steve Miller Jr. They tackled a little bit earlier in the race. Let's see if it happens again.
Yeah, I mean, father-son battle. If they get into each other, it's not like it's a long ride home. They drove separate pick-em-up trucks here to the racetrack. Give it all, boys. Here comes Dad in car number 68.
Senior versus junior. It's their age-old adage. The father will never let the son surpass him if he can, and the father doesn't want to let the son stay in front of him as we come down the backstretch.
We'll see what happens here. Wow, look at the run by the 79 down the back straightaway. Seemed to close that gap just a little bit on the 25 New Hampshire. Are the tires running out front? I mean, he's led a lot of laps. He's been out front by a far distance all night long. Are the rubbers still there underneath car number 25 New Hampshire?
Yeah, no, Michael Yeaton has begun to lose a little bit of pace compared to Steve Miller Jr. Miller Jr. this time didn't catch the lap car in the worst place possible. That gap is now down to a car length and a half.
Steve Miller Jr., the only car on the raceway in the 16-second bracket last time by. The 79 starts to come to life.
The 79 is Steve Miller Jr. Looks like he might have saved a little bit here for the last 17 laps. Can he make a move, and then can he make it stick on Michael Yeaton?
Down the back straightaway we head. It's Michael Yeaton. The 79 of Steve Miller Jr. starting to close, and Steve Miller Sr. starting to drop back from his kid at the line. Fastest car around that time, Tristan Bodwell in the 4-spot car number 17X.
Yeah, but importantly, it did look like Steve Miller Jr. was faster than Yeaton as they go off into 3 and 4. And Steve Miller Jr. is gaining ever so slightly. The gap now down to 1 full car length with 15 to go.
Single file, we head down the back straightaway. We are in what I would consider the late stages of the Steve Krupski Memorial. And we got these top 3 cars getting real close together.
Yeah, that gap continues to get smaller and smaller between Junior and Yeaton. Steve Miller Jr. now down to less than a car length. Under 3.5 tenths of a second. He's gaining ever so slightly again through 3 and 4. We're coming to 13 to go.
Yeah, last trip around, Michael Yeaton was the fastest car around. 3 tenths separate the top 2, but man, the 79 is showing some straightaway speed.
All of a sudden, he changed his entry and exit in 1, and it has gained him a ton on that number 25. There might be contact coming here soon.
He's there at the end of the straightaway. He was there down into turn 1. He's there again down into 3. We're going to have ourselves a race for the win.
He's putting he's putting himself in the mirror of the number 25. Those eyes of the driver of the 25, not just looking at the corner anymore, but looking at that rear view mirror. He needs to keep an eye where that 79 is and maybe change up his line to be able to protect his lead.
Now Michael Yeaton turns the wick up again. He's the fastest car on the raceway with 10 laps to go. 10 to go. 10 fingers in the air from Matt Johnson.
Michael Yeaton looks like he did adjust his line. He moved down the track a little bit in 1 and 2, but that time Steve Miller Jr. didn't matter to him. Here he comes. He's closing the gap again.
This is going to come down to the wire. Coming up on lap traffic. Good battle out back. Cody Parker in car number 11 and Doug Churchill, the 83, going at it. They've been going at it all race long.
Michael Yeaton was able to clear the lap car. And then Steve Miller Jr. was able to do it as well. He's closed the gap now down to less than a car length once more. Can Steve Miller Jr. take this win away from the number 25 down the backstretch? He's closing in.
We're going to have 5 laps to go. Before you know it, there's going to be 7 laps remaining at the start-finish line. We're in single digits, and Steve Miller Jr.'s there again. He's the fastest car on the raceway now.
Yeah, it was over 2 tenths of a second faster that time. Steve Miller Jr. has fired it up and moved himself around, find a better line, and here comes the number 79.
Does he have enough left in the tank? There's going to be 5 laps to go. 5-finger salute going to fly from Matt Johnson this time.
There's a battle for first. There's a battle for third. Who's going to come home on the podium is the battle between Steve Miller Sr. and Tristan Bodwell. But the battle up front gets closer and closer as he's now just under 4 tenths of a second behind Michael Yeaton.
Cat and mouse for the number 1 spot. Michael Yeaton has led him since the drop of the green with an absolutely dominant performance in car number 25, New Hampshire. The 79 looking to take it away in the late stages with 3 laps to go, this time by at the stripe.
Michael Yeaton just changing his lineup ever so slightly so that Steve Miller Jr. doesn't get there. The battle in front of them going to impede them. They come to 3 to go off into 1 and 2.
Cody Parker trying the outside of Doug Churchill, still with the leaders coming in. 2 laps to go at the start and finish line. Coming up on lap traffic now, this could be the window opener for the 79 of Steve Miller Jr. Here we go, lap cars dead ahead of the race leaders.
This is going to affect the way Michael Yeaton's able to get out of the corner. This might help Steve Miller Jr. Michael Yeaton might be trapped in a little bit as we go off into 3. He's going to go 3 wide. Miller Jr. only has to go single file through there. We're coming to the white flag.
Quarter-mile trip to go in the Steve Krupski Memorial. Clear track ahead of the 25. He's under the final lap car ahead of him.
Off into 3 and 4. This could be the battle. Out of 3 and 4, it's going to be from wire to wire. Michael Yeaton's going to win. Coming home second's going to be Steve Miller Jr., third Steve Miller Sr., fourth Tristan Bodwell, and fifth Chris Chadwick. What a absolute amazing race we just had from these folks. 75 laps of fantastic action. We're going to throw it down to the post-race interviews here in one moment, folks.
It was a long 75-lap race down here for the annual Steve Krumsky Memorial, but he's down here. He's out of the car. How about a round of applause? Wire to wire. It's Michael Yetton in car number 25, New Hampshire. Dressed proper and ready to go. Man, Mike, this thing was bad fast right out of the box, it seemed. I mean, wire to wire, you had a couple people get to the back door to give you a shot, but you never gave them the chance to get there.
I didn't know how close they were. I went 75 time trial laps as hard as I could the whole way. I finally won the Krupski. It took me 3 years.
And who do you got to think? I see a lot of team members down here with your name on them and a lot of stickers on this race car.
I got to thank Jim Lynch with J. Lynch Electric, MTM Flooring, Pioneer Automotive, Torromeo Industries, BMP Heating and Cooling, Jason with OPT, Orthopedical Physical Therapy, Travis Hollins. I mean, I learned everything from him, and John, my mom, my dad, everyone that came today. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your Steve Krumsky Memorial Champion, Michael Yetton in car number 25, New Hampshire. Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners on the Speedway right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've said it a couple times here tonight. Tonight we are racing in memory, in name of a couple of former employees here at Hudson International Speedway and people that meant a lot to us, a part of the racing family. That last race was the Steve Krupski Memorial. Well, this race we hold in honor of 3 employees that we lost in a short amount of time. Sonia LeClaire, Bill Callan, and Fred Marshy. So we cherish their names today. We race for them. Godspeed to them. We ask you all for a moment of silence. I'd ask you all to please rise and remove your caps. And we will have a moment of silence in honor of all of them. Thank you very much. Godspeed to our fallen friends. And I ask you all to please remain standing and point your attention to turn number 1 as we honor the greatest country in the world with the playing of our Star-Spangled Banner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit them with the most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines. Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners going to fire them up for the SPF Memorial. In memory of Sonia LeClaire, Fred Marshy, and Bill Callan. Bill's kids in the house tonight. His daughters, Stacy and Kim, in the stands. And his son, Brian Callan, going to throw the green flag. What?
First pace lap for Sonia, second one's for Bill, third.
And we are going to give them 3 pace laps, ladies and gentlemen. 1 pace lap for Sonia LeClaire, 1 pace lap for Bill Callan, and 1 pace lap for Fred Marshy. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 laps the distance. Here's your starting lineup. On the pole, the NRG Fuel JAR Racing Engine sponsored Chevrolet out of Nottingham, New Hampshire. Welcome Zach Frazier. To his outside, a hometown native out of Hudson, New Hampshire, in car number 7, the 3rd gen, being driven by Richie Morocco.
In third is going to be the number 37, of Joseph Frazier. And in fourth, the number 51 of Mike Doobie.
The 63 machine grids next on the inside of row number 3. Fifth on the grid belongs to Brian Caswell. And outside of him, the NRG Fuel Frazier Family Racing sponsored 76. Welcome Heath the Butts.
In seventh is going to be the number 59, Callie Osborne. And in eighth, rounding out the field, will be the number 40, JR of Shane Brandy.
Shane Brandy in the 40 Junior. The L&W Auto Repair sponsored Chevrolet. Gonna bring up the caboose of the field here for the SBF Memorial. Brian Callan, son of Bill, gonna cross him up in 1. Brian up there in the stand looking like he's done this a time or two. Well, he is actually a flagman, and he has been a flagman, I want to say, for 25 years this year. Started out as a flagman over at the USA Speedway quarter of a century ago. I don't mean to make you feel old, Brian.
So he's been a flagman longer than you've been alive.
Longer than I've been alive.
That's absolutely amazing. That's why he's so skilled.
We're going to show him to you right now. Brian Callen looks him over. Double green flags. We're underway.
Zach Frazier looked like he might have spun the tires a little bit. Joseph Frazier follows him through. He gave him a little shove into turn one. The 63 up to third. Brian Coswell. He's going to fire it down into 3 and 4. We have a battle for the lead out of turn 4.
Joey Frazier, the squirt gun, leads his older brother Zach down into turn number 1 with Brian Caswell third, Richie Morocco fourth, and the third and final Frazier teammate rounding out the top 5. It's Heath the Butts.
Brian Coswell all over Zach Frazier. He's giving him a little bit of the business off into 3 and 4. He's there. He knows he's faster. He's going to go to the outside, and he's going to try to make it stick. Can the 63 get by the 37? It's going to be a drag race into 3 and 4.
I was telling you, Nick, there's an outside lane. You just got to find someone to use it, and Brian Caswell trying to gather himself the second spot.
He went way up there, got a huge slingshot out of 4, put himself even into 1 and 2. They're going side by side back down the backstretch. It's another drag race into 3 and 4.
Door to door, bumper to bumper down in turns 3 and 4. They drag race again down the front straightaway.
They are lug nut to lug nut, door to fender into 1 and 2. They're still side by side for second down the backstretch. The 63 might clear him this time into 3.
The 63, grease lightning on the back. He's just not able to clear the 37Z. He does now into turn number 1.
Now that Zach has been passed, he's going to give him a little bit of a shot in the back. He's going to give Brian Coswell a shot, but Caswell off into 3 and 4. He's got his sights set on Joseph.
Where'd Joey Frazier go? Oh, there he is. A straightaway lead for the 37Z. He'll powerhouse off the number 2 corner and open up the gap.
2.9 seconds. Zach did a great job for his brother. Gave him a huge lead before he let the 63 by. Now it's up to the 63.
And watch the teammate out back in the 5th position. The 76 is running out of patience like a bad doctor. To the inside. They'll rub elbows sideways.
Look side by side. Oh, they go around out of 2.
Oh. We got, I want to say, a right front down on the 76, might even a right rear down. Is that 2? That's 2 blown sneakers for Heath to Butts.
7's got a flat tire as well. It might be both left sides on the 7, maybe just the left rear, but both right side tires on that 76 completely flat, destroying that right front fender.
Man. Well, that's something, isn't it, Nick?
That is.
So we have that.
That's action.
Trying to get the lineup worked out here for the Black Flag Podcast Ridge Runners. They went 7 laps green. They'll have 23 laps remaining. And there's still a lot of racing left to do here this afternoon. An action-packed schedule for all you Hudson faithful fans in the stands. After this event, we still have the 30-lap ground-pounding modified event. The Nash Division Modifieds for their premier division here at the Hudson Speedway will come out for their feature event. We will also have then the second of 2 feature events for the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock Division for 20 laps, and the New England Dwarf Car Series will roll out for their final event of the night for 25 laps.
You know, if you're Joseph Frazier right now, you should be worried. Brian Caswell, the last lap they ran under green, 38.076. Joseph's best lap of the night, a 38.5. Half a second faster under green flag conditions. is that number 63? That's going to be a great battle as soon as we go green.
Yeah, and Zach Frazier and Brian Caswell both turned their fastest laps on lap 7. Joey Frazier has checked out. He got the lead on lap 3. He's been out there all race long so far, and he's been that way since he showed up his first time here in car number 37J. Got out front. Nobody was able to catch him. Second week came back, got out front. Same story. We'll see if that's going to be the tail of the tape here tonight.
Well, I mean, Brian Coswell is going to do everything he can to get by that 37J. And I think the 37Z is going to start on the inside right behind. His brother's going to do the same thing his brother did for him on the first start.
Oh, yeah.
Take a little shot off in a 1.
Frazier Boy is going to start on the inside, nose to tail. Brian Caswell going to have Mike Doobie Jr. in car number 51 hooked to his train on the backside in the East Street Eatery number 51 third gen. Callie Osborne, the Northeast Auto Import number 59 machine, has crawled her way up to the 5th spot. Richie Morocco, the 7. Shane Brandy, the 40 junior. And now Heath the Butts in the NRG Fuel number 76. He's out of Nottingham, New Hampshire. He will bring up the backside of the field as your chief starter, Joe Bringy, going to cross him up in 1.
We are going to be 1 to green here. They stack them up side by side off into 1 and 2. We are going to have a 23-lap shootout if there's no more cautions. The way these guys are driving, I don't think we've seen the end of it. They're a little bit hot and heavy tonight. They're ready.
Zach Frazier looks real ready. He's pushing little Joey Frazier up in the number 1 spot. He's ready for the green. Joe Breggy looks him over, drops the green, says, let's get it on.
Coswell got a great start. He's going to be side by side with Frazier in a 1. They're going to be door to door. Lug nut to lug nut on the exit of 2. Frazier's going to clear him. And then Zach Frazier's going to be under a little bit of stress with Morocco right next to him. They're door-to-door out of 4.
Well, that's the 51 machine. That's Mike Doobie Jr. Morocco in the 7 machine, however, climbing his way up. He's got past the 40 of Shane Brandy. He's got damage to that automobile. He's sideways dirt tracking it through 1 and 2. Through the top.
Was able to clear Doobie as we come through 3 and 4. Frazier, then Coswell, then Frazier, then Doobie, and you could throw a blanket over 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but Joseph Frazier doing it again. He's driving away.
Mike Doobie Jr. out of Nashua, New Hampshire. The A1 Disposal Services sponsored Chevrolet going to try the outside, going up on the Angels Expressway in car number 51.
Huge run into 3 for Doobie. He's going to make that an over-under on the exit of 4 if he can get the run. Here he comes to the inside in 1. They're going to be side by side.
Almost thinks wisely. He's got the 37Z sideways on the outside. Mike Doobie to the 3rd spot in car number 51.
Mike Doobie has speed. He's shown it through 3 and 4. Way up the track, though. Overdrove it. Here comes Zach Frazier back to the inside in a 1.
It's a heavyweight battle for the number 3 spot. The final piece of hardware here, and it's a nice one here. A memorial-sized trophy. Not plaques for the memorial trophies, but full-size peg trophies, and they're battling hard for it side by side. You got the metric car on the inside. You got the leaf sprung car on the outside of the racetrack, and they're door-to-door off turn 2.
Here they go. Even. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Doobie to the outside. Frazier to the inside. Lug nut to lug nut on the corner exit of 4.
Man, if you can't win the show, be the show. And they're battling hard for the 3rd spot here down into 1 and 2. Zach Frazier keeping it strong and steady on the inside. Mike Doobie not going down without a fight as we come to the cross flags. 15 down, 15 remain for the 37J of Joey Frazier.
Frazier and Doobie for the 5th lap in a row go off in a 1 side by side. They almost make contact. Frazier washes up the track a little bit. Doobie's going to clear him off into 3.
Brian Caswell having a silent race here in car number 63. He is comfortable out for a Sunday drive in the 2nd spot. Still trying to catch the 37J of Joey Frazier, but not able to close the gap.
Now he's about 0.2 of a second a lap slower each lap. Frazier dirt tracking it on the exit of 4, just driving away. He's on a Sunday drive as well. I mean, you know, he might be thinking of what he's going to eat after the race.
Yeah, absolutely, and the sun has absolutely gone down over the tree line, so they don't have to worry about getting blinded as they come down the back straightaway into turn number 3. So it's smooth sailing out front for the 37J. Going to start to creep in the backside of the L&W Auto Repair Chevrolet, the 40 junior of Shane Brandy.
As he begins the catch lap traffic, we look back here for the battle for 4th and 5th. Begins, it's 5th and 6th. Callie Osborne and Richard Morocco, they begin. to heat up a little bit. Richard's been dirt tracking it on the exit of 2 and 4 trying to catch Callie, and that might become a pretty interesting battle.
Callie Osborne in car number 59, a graduate out of the four-cylinder Pure Star division this season. In car number 23, scheduled was to be driving that car was her mother, but she's having a baby in about a couple weeks, so Callie Osborne got in it to test it a few times in practice sessions and finds herself running a full season in 2023 in the Northeast Auto Imports number 59.
Well, if she's doing it in replacement, she's doing a fantastic job. She's got it in 5th. She's got 9 laps to go to keep it there, and it'll be a top 5 here at the Hudson International Speedway.
Not a bad run coming so far. Richie Morocco off the outside wall in car number 7.
Well, that might be the end of that battle. The number 7 might have some really big damage on the right side. Look at how crumpled the front end is. And right now, we are just kind of all strung out here. The 51 of Mike Doobie is catching Coswell every single lap. He's made the gap smaller. And now, Coswell was stuck behind a lapper going into 1. That's allowed that battle to close up just a little bit.
Yeah, Shane Brandy Jr., car number 40 Jr., giving plenty of racing room to the bottom side groove for racers to come by through the top side of the class. Doobie gets by. That means the top 3 competitors are by the lap car, and the next lap car in question will not be caught, the 76 machine of Heath the Butts, without some kind of mechanical failure.
We do have a battle beginning between Morocco and the Butts. That's a damaged race car in the 7 and the 76. They got together earlier in the race. This could be interesting. You know, I don't think they're going to do anything, but it could be interesting. You never know.
You never know. It's car number 7, Richie Morocco, showing the way over the 76 machine right now at Heath the Butts. They might be the closest battle on the raceway. Yes, they are.
Yeah, for 6th and 7th this is, folks. We come around 4 laps to go. The leader exits turn 4 to get 3 to go this time off in 1.
Heath the Butts now to the inside of Richie Morocco. He'll claim the spot. Oh, Morocco gets into the 76 of Heath the Butts that time with 2 to go. He's getting the pointed flag at him.
That's an angry driver in the 7. You saw he tried to get back to his bumper there in 3 and 4. There might be fireworks here after this race. But I'll tell you who's not going to have to worry about fireworks is Joseph Frazier. He's almost 4 seconds ahead.
Yeah, Frazier out for an actual Sunday cruise with the white flag out, a quarter-mile trip to go. Nick Adams, bring us home.
Through 1 and 2, minus the mechanical failure, Joseph Frazier is going to walk away with this one. He got the lead early. Through 3 and 4, Joseph Frazier's going to win the SBF Memorial. Coming home in 2nd will be Brian Coswell. 3rd will be Mike Doobie. 4th, Zach Frazier. 5th, going to be Callie Osborne. 6th, Heath DeButts. 7th, Richard Morocco. And 8th, Shane Brandy. A fantastic 30 laps of racing there as we send it on down to John as he goes down there for the interview with the winner, Joseph Frazier.
Joey Squirt Gun Frazier victorious here again at the original Family Fun track, the Hudson International Speedway. 2nd and 3rd place drivers, Brian Aswell and Mike Doobie Jr. out of their cars. How about a round of applause for those drivers? As Joey Frazier going to pull it down every lane. Getting all the safety equipment unstrapped. Going to get the family congratulations from Dad. Former wheelman himself, actually still a wheelman, the Pistol Pete Frazier. There he is. He'll come out of the car. Victorious Joey Frazier in car number 37J. And Joey, I feel like it's going to be the same conversation we had last time, man. I mean, you got out front, never looked back. You just had to get by the older brother back there, Zach, in the 37J, and out for a Sunday cruise. Everything was bad fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We spent all day Saturday getting this thing ready after Friday night at Star Speedway, and this thing was hooked up. I'll make it quick. I got a lot of people to thank. First off, my dad, like always. Tons of hours in the shop with me, teaching me everything in this car, teaching me how to wheel this thing and everything. My older brother, Zach, heck of a race with him at the beginning. My other crew buddy, Heath, I don't know what happened to him, but awesome job to him. My friend Andy kills himself every week. My mom, she couldn't come down. My beautiful girlfriend Ashley. All my sponsors, Eagle Air Solutions, Rusty's Towing, NRG Fuels, JAR Race Motors. I'm forgetting a couple people, Larry, but that's an awesome night, and yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Squirt Gun Joey Frazier is victorious in the SBF Memorial. Kids prize, we have the winning ticket stub going to be pulled by Joey Frazier. So pull out your Hudson Speedway ticket stub for all the kids that got admission here today. Winning ticket number is 12554. 12554 Hudson Speedway ticket stub. Bring it up to the front tower. It wasn't you. And the ground starts to rumble. The Ground Pounders, the Nastrovision Modifieds on the Speedway now. After qualifying invert, this is how the starting lineup rolls down. Leading them off the pin, gonna be car number 2, the Whitewater Plastics, Triton Automotive. Number 2 is Tyler Leary. Outside of him, the Velocita, Little Ebbs Tire and Fuel, KDW, Jamie Weber Photography, sponsored number 19. Outside pole is Jeffrey Battle.
In third is going to be the number 46 of Jeremy Zulo. And in fourth, the number 29 New Hampshire of Aaron Fellows.
Row number 3 on the inside belongs to the Brockton Mass Kid. Car number 44, the JR Hudson Horse Transportation. Victory Lane Stable sponsored ride. Ultimate Pizza on the hood for Jesse Jacobaitis. Outside of him, a hometown boy out of Hudson, New Hampshire, the Hudson Heroes Youth Division, MLM Diagnostic Services, sponsored modified for Marshall Law, Mike Marshall.
In 7th is going to be the number 69 of Josh Carey. And in 8th, going to be the number 03 of Nathan Wenzel.
Rounding out the field, the former Outlaw Sportsman champion here at the Hudson High Banks. Out of Sterling, Massachusetts, it's the Pleasant View 62 for the Warhammer, Todd Warren. And we got problems here in turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like the 03 may have stalled out.
No, there something's wrong. That thing was crab walking up off of turn number 4. Something in the left rear has broke in car number 03. That is young Nathan Wenzel.
They were coming to the green. They had stacked him up and gotten ready, but the 03 has had a major suspension failure.
Got all that blood pumping for nothing. We're going to have to try it again.
I think we can do it again.
Oh, we can easily do it again. The young Granby, Massachusetts native, Nathan Wenzel, in the Kent's Bell Automotive, number 03 machine. Kid that picked up the big win here earlier this season in the Choppy Baldwin Memorial for the Quest for the Cup NHSTRA Modifieds with a $6,000 payday. And he was racing hard with none other than the 2 of Tyler Leary, the 44 machine of Jesse Jacobaitis, who has been a dominant factor all season long, just hasn't seemed to got the monkey off his back.
Oh, yeah, they are picking up some serious suspension parts that are falling off of the 03 as it's being pushed along. That is a major suspension failure, and he's actually telling them to stop. He wants them to tow the car.
This is like Joey Logano at Pocono all over again.
Thank God there's not a camera with a microphone in there. He would end up going viral as well.
Absolutely. That is a tough break there for the youngster out of Granby, Mass. Didn't even get to take the green flag. But it's going to be an absolute heavyweight battle through the field. I mean, top-notch driver. You have on the pole the defending track champion from Winchester, New Hampshire at the Dog, the Monadnock Speedway, and Tyler Leary in car number 2. Outside of him, you want to talk about a dominant force? Put this kid and see him drive his 350 small block super. Jeffrey Battle on the outside in car number 19, and just his 5th open-wheel modified start in this caliber of car. Has been getting up and up the ladder each time we see him. Was in the podium last time out with a solid 3rd place finish. Looking to bump it up the ladder to 2nd or even a race win here this afternoon.
Ever since I've got here, I have heard all about Jeffrey Battle. This man has a lot of pure talent and a lot of pure potential. If he puts it together tonight, he could end up in victory lane with a big trophy.
Absolutely, and we've seen him. One of the races in the handful that he's run has been an extra distance race. I want to say either his 1st or 2nd race was a 75-lap race, and that's something that you really have a learning curve with, not only driving this caliber of car, which coming from a 350 Super Modified I can assume has its similarities, but now you're learning a completely different tire game on a completely different size tire and a completely different rubber compound. So it's a lot of information being thrown at the driver behind the wheel of car number 19, but he seems to be picking up on it just quite quickly. Out of the famous Whitcomb family racing, I saw Eddie Whitcomb walking around earlier this afternoon with a headset on. He just might be in the ears of the driver in car number 19, Eddie Whitcomb Jr., another big-time name when it comes to Wing Warrior 350 Super Modified action.
And they're coming to get stacked up, 1 to green, side by side, lug nut to lug nut. I would say door handle to door handle, but these cars definitely don't have door handles.
It's a factory option.
It's along with air conditioning and heated seats.
That's right. Coming to the Bumpy's Auto restart zone in turns 3 and 4. Tyler Leary, Jeff Battle, gonna look at the start stand, and it's time to drop the hammer.
And the green flag is out, and they're off into turn 1. Battle on the outside. No pun intended. He's gonna battle his heart out here on the exit of 2. He's still there. Gonna be cleared off into 1. A big dive in the back of the pack there from the 20 on the outside. He's gonna move up to the outside of the 44.
Yeah, the 29 New Hampshire, the Willis Automotive Machine of Superman Aaron Fellows. He's stuck up on the outside of Jesse Jacobatis in car number 44 now.
Unlike fendered cars, they have a very, very large, area for error. You touch one of these wheels, you're going to be done. So these guys know they can get close. They can't get as close as the ones you've seen in the previous races, but they're going to leave it all on the line here for third.
Tyler Leary leads Jeff Battle, Jeremy Zullo, Superman Aaron Fellows, and Jesse Jacobatis to the top 5. Josh Carey, Mike Marshall, Todd Warren run through the field.
Superman with a huge run down the front stretch, all over the back bumper of the number 46 of Jeremy Zullo. He's going to get a huge run on the exit as well. He's getting a better exit in these corners. Zullo's able to roll the corner better, but Superman is able to get a huge exit down in a 1.
The Springfield Paving, number 46 of Jeremy Zullo, starting to really tighten up off the outside of the corner. Here comes Aaron Fellows. Here comes Jesse Jacobatis, who's waiting for one of them to slip. Superman to the outside. Here comes Jesse J.
Jesse now right on that gearbox. He's looking at him. He's saying, hey, listen, I'm there. If you don't move, I'm going to have to give you a bump. But the 29 of Aaron Fellows all over Jeremy Zullo on the exit of 2.
The driver of car number 29 hails out of Croydon, New Hampshire. That must be in the sticks. I ain't never heard of it before. From Croydon, New Hampshire to the 4th spot now, looking for third and the final piece of hardware here this afternoon.
He's going to slide up on the exit. He's going to be battling now with the 44 to Jesse Jacobatis. They almost make contact. Jesse lets off of it, slides back up, but the battle for the lead is heating up. Jeffrey Battle all over the back bumper.
Jeffrey Battle in car number 19, the rookie, going to knock on the back door, the defending Monadnock Speedway champion in car number 2. Turn the wick up for the race lead.
Jeremy Battle, no pun intended again, is battling with everything he's got. He's all over the back bumper of Tyler Leary. If Leary makes a slip, here comes Battle to the inside, almost in a 1.
Got the door slammed shut by the defending champion from Monadnock in car number 2. We got Aaron Fellows going to try to scope out the 46, gives him the nerve bar down in 3 and 4.
As Superman said, hey, I'm here. You need to move over or I'm going to have to move you up the track. That battle for third is starting to heat up. I think Superman knows he's got a lot of pace and can catch up to those leaders. He might be able to make a move if those two up front make something of each other.
Jeffrey Battle is the car to watch. He's hungry for a race win in car number 19. He's knocking on the back door of Tyler Leary.
Jeremy Battle, he's all over that back bumper on a tie to 4. He's going to get a big run, going to be right up against the rear end of that number 2.
Lap
He's
car.
going to get stuck behind a lap car, though.
Todd Warren, the Warhammer, car number 62. Each week, still a rookie trying to find some speed out of that automobile as we come to the halfway mark. Tyler Leary still feeling the pressure on from Jeff Battle.
The battle for third heats up as the number 46 of Jeremy Zullo slid up the track a little bit on the exit of 4. We got a battle for the lead. Battle to the lead.
Scoops up the inside, and Jeff Battle leads him down to lap 16. Leary back on offense in car number 2.
It took 16 laps, but Battle was finally able to make that move. He threw it off into 3 and 4 the last time by, and he's beginning to pull away.
Aaron Fellows stuck behind car number 46. He's been there all race long. Jeremy Zullo in car number 46 holding his own in third.
Aaron Fellows, he really wants that third spot. He has given him the bumper once or twice. We got a spinner out of 2, and the caution is out.
Oh, yeah, rack him back up.
We're going to tighten this field up, and this is going to get absolutely insane.
16 laps into the race, Jeff Battle took the race lead away from Tyler Leary in car number 2.
You've got 5 cars here, at least 5 cars. I'm not going to count anybody out. Anything could happen. You go off in a 1, you wad them all up, you start over again, anything could happen. But that battle between Battle and Leary, that was intense. The move that Jeremy made off into 3 to get that lead, that was something that shows so much potential in this kid.
An absolute dominating factor, as we've mentioned multiple times in 350 Super Modified competition. Whirlybirds his way up into the race lead. Jeff Battle in car number 19. He hails out of Westford, Massachusetts, and he finds himself at the top of the class. The 2 machine of Leary will sit second for the restart. Jeremy Zullo, props out to that guy. He's holding his own in the 3rd spot. He's going to find himself in the bottom side lane, right where he wants to be. But he's going to have the car that was knocking on the back door to his outside. Superman Aaron Fellows out of Croydon, New Hampshire, in car number 29, New Hampshire. Yellow flag remains on the raceway.
They were stacking them up to get them restarted. And then there was a little bit of a checkup in 2, and the flagman waved it off there.
Try this one again. Next time by, we'll let him loose.
I think what it was is we might have still had workers on the track in 2. They didn't want to go green with anybody on the track. It, makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Especially if I was the guy on the track. Modified's going to come to the restart box. Jeff Battle on the pole. Tyler Leary up top. Green flag is out, down to the stripe. We're underway.
Great restart by Battle. He's going to clear the number 2 of Tyler Leary into 1. Leary to 2nd. Superman on the outside into 3.
He's going to have his shot around the outside of Jeremy Zulo, the Springfield Paving 46. They go toe-to-toe down into turn number 1.
They are side by side. They are wheel to wheel. We got a car off the track. We're going to stay green. They're going to keep going. The battle for 3rd rages on in 3 and 4.
And here comes Jesse Jacobatis. He almost peaks 3 wide to the bottom side of that battle. The Willis Auto Repair 29 peaks out ahead of the Springfield Paving 46. They muscle each other into turns 3 and 4.
They are side by side, once again, wheel to wheel. Superman slides up on the exit of 4, off into 1. They are corner to corner. Little bit of sparks. They make contact and they slide up the track, but they still keep going straight. Good driving by all those drivers out there right there.
Aaron Fellows finally gets by the 46 machine of Zulo. He's been trying to do that for almost 20 laps now.
Can Aaron Fellows put it together now? With 9 to go, can he get up there and battle for 2nd? It looks like he's actually changed the way he's running 3 and 4 compared to everybody else. He's entering much higher and diamonding that corner off.
Trying to arc and get the center off speed in car number 29, New Hampshire. Keep an eye behind him. The battle ensues for the 4th spot. Here comes Jesse Jacobatis, the JR Hudson Horse Transportation Modified.
Jacobatis, he's looking at Aaron Fellows. I apologize. He's looking at Jeremy Zulo, and he really wants to make that move for 5th. To the inside, not this time as we go off into 1 and 2.
Down the back straightaway, it's all Jeff Battle, and the 5-finger salute gonna fly. This time from Matt Johnson on the flag stand.
5 to go through 1 and 2 for Jeremy Battle. He is 5 laps away from winning his first race at the Hudson International Speedway.
Jeff Battle, Tyler Leary, Aaron Fellows run to the top 3, down with 4 laps to go.
Big slide by Jacobatis out of turn 4. Wasn't able to make his move on Jeremy Zulo, but he's going to try again down the backstretch. We come to 3 to go.
Single digits remain under 5, 3 precise laps, and he's going to nail him down. Down the back straightaway with about a straightaway length lead is Jeff Battle, who's going to come to the popsicle sticks.
He's got 4 more left turns. All he's going to do is come down and make 4 more lefts, and he'll be able to win his first race at Hudson. The battle for 4th has died out. We are single file throughout the field. Coming to the white flag, Jeremy Battle with a half a straightaway lead off into 1. Battle's gonna exit 2, drive it straight down the backstretch into 3 and 4. He's gonna come out of 4, and Jeremy Battle is gonna win his first race at Hudson. Coming home 2nd will be Tyler Leary, and 3rd will be Aaron Fellows. 4th, Jeremy Zulo. 4th, Jesse Jacobatis. And we're gonna be transitioning down to John for our interview with our winner, Jeffrey Battle.
And quite the happy crew down here at Hudson International Speedway Victory Lane. Bobby Weber Jr., the team owner, car owner down there at the driver's side door. 14 years in a row this makes that Bobby Weber Jr. has had a driver drive for him and end up in Victory Lane. And talking down here, for those of you that don't know, Bobby's dad, Bob Weber Sr., was the former owner of this racetrack, and he said it feels so good to finally land himself in victory lane for his dad, Big Bob Weber. Jeff Battle, the youngster out of Westford, Massachusetts, the kid to do it for him. And just let me remind you, his 5th ever open-wheel modified event. He's out of the car. He can hear you. How about a round of applause? Jeff Battle nails it down in car number 19. Getting his hugs and congratulations, as I said, a very, very happy BWR crew down here. And we're going to get Jeff over here to the front side of the car. The Wonder Boy, they call him. Jeff! That didn't take long, man. 5 races in this car, and you picked up the win. An absolute dominant factor here tonight. Once you got by the 2, it was smooth sailing from there on, and I know it means a lot to you, and I know it means a lot to this team standing behind you.
Yeah, I got to thank the whole Weber crew for giving me this opportunity. Bob, Jen, Jamie, and Tim. I didn't really know how this was all going to go, but so far it's going pretty good. We're having a lot of fun. I got to thank Bumpy's Auto, Kingsley Automotive, all the guys that help out, Joe, Jim, Jamie, Jake, Jen, and everybody else that really helps us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the Wonder Boy, Jeff Battle, in car number 19, lands himself in victory lane. Still got 2 more races left here this afternoon. And you've seen him once before, you'll see him again. The MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock Division and the New England Dwarf Car is going to head back out for their second 25-lap event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the Speedway now, the second of two 20-lap main events. This is the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock Division. These are the four bangers, the four-cylinder, the bang bangers, whatever you want to call them. They're getting ready for a 20-lap main event. On the pole, the City Chevrolet, number 8Z of Owen Zielinski, and he'll share the row with the 56 machine of Dominic Stafford.
In third is going to be the number 40 of Lele Daniels. And in
fourth spot will be the 21X, the Catco Recycling sponsored ride of Mackenzie Belial.
In fifth is going to be the number 38 of Jim Rhodes. And sixth is going to be the number 57 of Tegan Edison.
Car number 1, New Hampshire. Grids next, and car number 1 will be Carlos Grenier, coming off his first pure stock win up at the Monadnock Speedway just a few weeks ago. Outside of him, car number 78 brings us Chris Conroy.
Oh, you can take number 9 because I know you love this car.
Oh, yeah, Doug Nelson in car number 65 from On Grids next. That is the only wagon on the field. It's the Shaggin' Wagon. He's out of Springfield, Vermont. The Springfield Methodist Church Don's Heating, a sponsored 65 Vermont.
In 10th is going to be the number 72 of Zach Zielinski. In 11th is the 14H of Andrew Harmon. And in 12th is the 73 Junior of Owen Brandy.
Making their way up into the starting positions, the 5A. That's going to be good for Aiden White behind the wheel. And the 4 machine behind him, the Claremont Spartan, Colton Martin. Drives car number 4, the State Farm Brody Ledoux 603 Metalworks sponsored entry.
In 15th is going to be the number 72, Carter Chamberlain. And 16th going to be the number 56, MA, Scotty Blanchard.
Starting out back. Did have the backup car here. It looks like he elected to not use it. He's driving the same car he did in Feature 1 and had a mishap on the right rear. That is the 16 machine, former Monadnock Speedway Pure Stock champion, Chris Davis.
I mean, they had about 2 hours. They were able to get that fixed. It was probably something small then, clearly.
Ran on down to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts and got themselves fixed up. They're ready for 20 laps of action. The MLM Pure Stocks come to the Bumbies Auto Restart Zone, and the double greens are out.
And down into turn 1, Owen Zielinski is going to take the lead. He's going to be side by side with the number 56 of Dominic Stafford. Stafford's going to fall back. And in the third spot, we're going to have the number 21X of Mackenzie's going to slide off to the inside.
Yeah, they're playing bumper tag. The Ogre, Jim Rhodes, and car number 38 sneaks by. Mackenzie Belial peaks under 3 wide, backs out wisely down into turn number 1.
Yeah, we had a 5 wide on the first lap of the first race earlier this evening. We had 3 wide in the first lap of the second race. We got a car around in turn 1.
Carter Chamberlain.
A battle for 4th in turns 3 and 4.
Uh-oh. He put it in reverse. He's in the groove. All right, he's off the groove. Leaders are coming by. No yellow flag. Carter Chamberlain gets the 72 back under pace and back underway.
Double file in the middle of the pack for 4th still. The leader still Owen Zielinski in the 8Z. In second, Lele Daniels really giving the bumper to him. But down into 1 and 2. Almost a little bit of a battle for third there.
Second. Owen Zielinski in car number 8Z, a Young Gun Youth Division competitor from the Mad Dog, the Monadnock Speedway. Came out, as we talked about earlier, almost trial and error coming to run out with the big dogs. He's led them all the way down to lap 4. And I believe that is his nickname, Big Dog, Owen Zielinski in car number 8Z, pulling away from the rest of the field.
Young gun, big dog, Owen Zielinski in first. What a story here tonight at Hudson. We're single file through the top 9, and we have a battle for maybe 10th, possibly 11th there.
Oh!
In turn 2. Contact between second and third. We almost had another car get involved there as well.
The 38 machine, the O'Day's Garage sponsored entry. That's the Ogre. They call him Jim Rhodes. Was just trying to get to the inside of Lele Daniels in the 40. Got the fender underneath as they were getting into the corner entry zone. Got together and around goes the 40 over the nose of the O'Day's Garage number 38.
It might be okay. It might be a flat left rear. I can't tell from here, but I know the 38 still hasn't been able to get that thing fired up, so that might be some more serious damage on that vehicle.
Yeah, Jim Rhodes has been having some serious speed all season long. He's out of Springfield, New Hampshire. Beautiful looking ride. If you saw it at the beginning of the season, it was spray bombed red, black. You couldn't really read the number, and they got that thing looking top notch. He's going to head pit side. It looks like he's got a right front sneaker down.
Zach Zielinski, I don't know what he was doing in the back of the pack earlier, but he got into it with somebody. That back bumper's hanging off. It's hanging on by a thread.
Well, he just barely he clipped the rear end of the 38 when they were stopped up there in turns 1 and 2 when he came by sideways trying to avoid the wreck. He just caught the right side of the bumper, and it looks like they might be sending him to the pits to get it fixed. Yes, they are. That car is actually crab walking. There might be more serious damage to the right rear of that car than just cosmetic.
Yeah, he might not have just touched that 38. He might have slammed into the side of the 38. Well, we come down the backstretch here, and Owen Zielinski is your leader. In second, it's going to be the number 21X. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Hudson International Speedway, we've had a fantastic night of auto racing so far. Still have one more feature to bring to you after this one. So we'll have at least one more caution lap here. Well, here comes the 7 back on the track after getting that rear end fixed. Owen Zielinski in the 8Z has absolutely... He drove away at the beginning of this race here. Pulled out to about almost a full second ahead of the rest of the field as they battled for second on back. And then subsequently had an issue there for second.
I'm back. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Long day here at Hudson International. It's hot, so you've been drinking a lot of water. And 7 features tonight, which means a long time. You can do the math. Had to go to little boy's room. Sorry about that, Nick.
It's all right. First time I've been left to my own devices.
We abandoned you here on your first day.
Yeah, well, typical corporate America.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we're still under yellow here, as I can see. 5 laps in. Out of 20 laps here for the second of 2 MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock Division main events. One driver to keep an eye on right now, 4th on the raceway, is the 14 machine of Andrew Harmon, winner of feature number 1.
He was bad fast in the first feature. I expect him to be bad fast here in the second one. He's going to start second on the 4th on the outside and second in the second row, and you know, it's going to be an interesting way for him to get this restart. If he gets a good restart, he could bomb it off in a 1, make it 3 wide. If Zielinski gets a bad restart, he could take a shot at second. Could be very interesting.
The big dog in the City Chevrolet number 8Z, Owen Zielinski. Gonna lead him down to the Bumby's Auto restart zone. Mackenzie Belial up top, they come down, they fire down to the stripe, we're back on our way. Good start from the top dog, car number 8Z. Gonna lead him down into turn 1, it's Owen Zielinski, we got one around.
Oh, we got cars in 1, 2 cars in it, 3, 4 cars in it. Big incident there between the 5, and is that the 72?
73 of Owen Brandy. Wow, I don't even know how that started. I know it was the 5 that we saw careening across the turn 1 area sideways. It looks like some serious bent up stuff on that race car. The 73 of Owen Brandy really with nowhere to go. I mean, he just got up on the binders. He's a young driver. Saw a car parked dead ahead of you. Got sideways and just had nowhere to go. Got into the rear end of the 5 of Aiden White. Both cars come to a stop, and they sit rested in turns 1 and 2. So 5 laps still in the books. We will have to get the lineup order worked out. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action on the 13th of August, 5 o'clock post time. The Open Pro Stocks are back in town here at the original Family Fun track. Open Pro Stocks that night, along with the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock, the Evolve Bank and Trust Pro Truck Challenge also in town. Ladies and gentlemen, those are 2 heavy weight battles that you are not going to want to miss on the 13th here. August 13th, 5 o'clock start time. You can get your tickets right now at HudsonSpeedway.com. You can also, while you're there, get your custom, I shouldn't say custom, but they're different than the ones that we sell here, Hudson Speedway t-shirts. If you see them walking around, there are some people that walk around, they have a different t-shirt than the normal Hudson Speedway t-shirts we sell here at the track. The ones you can buy on My Race Pass are different. They say, "Are you ready?" on the front and for open wide racing on the back with a completely different design. You can check those out. You can get them in Mark Beaudry if you're here. I know you can confirm this, but I think it's 32 colors or something like that. Or maybe that was the amount on the soft serve ice cream list last night. I'm not sure what I'm remembering right now, but I know it's quite a lot that you can get those shirts in, a bunch of different colors. And it's not only just us here at Hudson Speedway, but if you're a fan of the Lee USA Speedway, Monadnock Speedway, or Claremont Motorsports Park, support your local short track. You can head over to their My Race Pass accounts and purchase your t-shirts today, as well as tickets for the 13th Open Pro Stocks, Evolve Bank and Trust, Pro Truck Challenge, MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stock, and the return of the best support division across the 50 states of America, the Northeast Auto Import Late Models. New England Dwarf Cars getting ready in staging. They will be the next event on the raceway and the final event on the raceway for the night for 25 laps. Justin Harris in car number 29, New Hampshire, picked up the win earlier in feature number 1 here at the Hudson High Banks here today. There will be a complete field invert minus the cars that went a lap down. So we'll see how that plays out. MLM Diagnostic Pure Stock Division has 15 laps left. There'll be 25 laps for the New England Dwarf Car Series, and that will end out the night here tonight at Hudson International Speedway. A beautiful day. We want to thank you once again for all of the fans coming out and spending your afternoon with us here at the Family Fun Track. And all of you at home or wherever you might be, maybe sitting at the Applebee's bar right now, watching on NastraVision, NHSTRA Vision, that's VISION.com, NastraVision.com. You can get all of your streaming needs for the 4-track program. Hudson International Speedway, Lee USA Speedway, Claremont Motorsports Park, and the Monadnock Speedway for a one lump sum package price. If I want to say it's about $200 for the year, you get about 60 events worth, or you can pay pay-per-view, and it's $15 per event. So you can check them out. Mark Beaudry and their entire team are on property. They do a phenomenal job. They're at all 4 tracks, and you can even see them at some other tracks. They covered the Open Wheel Wednesday event from the Seekonk Speedway, the Cement Palace, and they're just looking to grow. They're looking to make local short track racing accessible to everybody. We know there's a lot of fans that are unable to drive this far, who have moved out of state, who are unable to sit out here in the heat, yet still want to root on their favorite drivers. So you can check out NHSTRAvision.com, and Mark Beaudry and his team will take care of you. And it's just another way to support your local short track if you're unable to be on the property the day of the event.
What are you spieling? It's cold. What are you telling them? It's hot.
Yellow flag condition still on the speedway. Something big broke on the 5 machine of Aiden White. A lot of speedy dry laid up in turns 1 and 2. We're going to have to get the pure stocks to roll through it a couple times before we double them up, restack them, re-rack them, and send them back green. Again, can't speak about him enough. The youngster out front, the 8Z right now of Owen Zielinski, the younger brother to Zach. Both drivers out of Gill, Massachusetts. And the youngster leads the charge back to a lap 6 restart in car number 8Z, the City Chevrolet Cole Trickle throwback scheme style Chevy Cobalt. He's going to have some Honda power to his outside, the Catco Recycling, number 21X of Mackenzie Belisle. Carlos Grenier Going to start on the inside of row number 2 alongside Andrew Harmon in car number 14. And rounding out the top 5, another driver out of the Monadnock Speedway Youth Division, Dominic Stafford in car number 56. He'll round out the top 5. Yellow flag on the field. The field is doubled up and ready to go. I don't know if they know they're not going green this time. No, they don't. Here we go. They're going to try it anyways. Hold up. Easy does. No. Easy does it. Simmer down. Simmer down. There we go. All right.
We're excited.
I was excited. I mean,
it was, again, we got to get all the blood rushing again.
That's right. That's right. All that blood worked up for nothing. We're going to have to try this one again. Get up there on the outside, nice and even. There we go. All right, field is set. We look nice and proper coming to the Bumpies Auto restart zone. A little bit of a lag back on the outside. The green flag is out, and it's waving strong.
Andrew Harmon on the outside must not be very happy about that. They're going to be touching off into 1, and we're going to have calamity almost again.
Nice.
We're still green.
Andrew Harmon saves it on the inside, and car number 14 keeps it off the wall. What a move there with him and the 21X of Belial, both keeping those race cars heading in the right direction.
You know what this sets up? The next 14 laps are going to be real fun watching him try to drive through the pack.
Oh, yeah. 14 to go. The 14 to the bottom side of Dominic Stafford now. He's got a long way to go. 5 more cars to pass. The battle for the race lead starts to heat up. Here comes Carlos Grenier.
Carlos Grenier on the outside of Owen Zielinski. He tries to make a move. He's not going to be able to this time. Going to slide back in behind him and get a big run off into 3. Breaks late up on that back bumper. Maybe he'll be able to make a move off into turn 1.
Well, Carlos Grenier brought one good friend with him, and that's Big Mo. Momentum behind the wheel of car number 1. He's coming off his first win up at the Monadnock Speedway just a couple weeks ago. Keep an eye on the Claremont Spartan. Colton Martin in car number 4 to the outside of Chris Conroy.
Colton Martin still on the outside of the number 78 off into turn 1. He's going to be side by side, lug nut to lug nut through 1 and 2. He's going to edge him out down the backstretch. The 78's going to pull him into 3.
Halfway home, this time by, and it's still the big dog, Owen Zielinski. In car number 8Z showing the way. The 1 New Hampshire of Carlos Grenier second. The 21X of Mackenzie Belial rounds out the top 3. They're still putting on a barn burner right behind them. 3 cars under a blanket.
Colton Martin still trying to make that move on the outside work. He's still door to door with the 78. He's going to get him clear off into 1. The 78's going to come under a little bit of pressure now.
Battle is on for the race lead. Here he comes, Nick. Carlos Grenier to the outside. He'll poke the fender out front.
He's going to put himself to the outside with the lap car to the inside. Use him as a roadblock. What a move by Carlos Grenier as he takes the lead.
Charges up the outside and sets the pick, the 56 of Scotty Blanchard. He'll put the 8Z of Owen Zielinski back to second, but here comes the hard charger, car number 14 of Andrew Harmon.
Andrew Harmon said, wait a minute. It might be 7 to go, but that doesn't mean I'm out of it yet. He's in third.
Oh!
He's going to put himself to the inside.
Rubbing elbows.
Contact. Robin's racing, as they say, through 1 and 2, and now Harmon's on the hunt.
We have 6 laps to go for the youngster in car number 1, Carlos Grenier out of Charleston, New Hampshire.
They say it gets hotter when the lights go out, and for Andrew Harmon it has. He's in second by a mile, and here he comes. He's closing in on Carlos Grenier.
Colton Martin in car number 4, almost off the outside concrete. He'll get by the 21X, the Catco Recycling Honda of Mackenzie Belial. He'll take the 4 spot away.
Colton Martin has Owen Zielinski in his sights. He's going to try to make a move in the next couple of laps, most likely to the outside. Here he comes into 3. Zielinski allows him to get up there. They're going to be corner to corner on the exit of 4.
Look at that, side by side for the final piece of hardware here in the Pierce Dot division. Zielinski rides him up and tries to pull away.
Zielinski's going to make a large run down the backstretch, but look at Colton with a huge late braking maneuver into 4. He's going to be door to door into 1.
We're going to have popsicle sticks a-flying this time. There'll be 2 laps to go with lap traffic dead ahead of the battle for the race lead. Here comes Andrew Harmon in car number 14.
Carlos Grenier used the lapper as a pick, but Harmon to the inside out of 4.
Battle down into turn 1 with another lap car dead ahead. Harmon will prevail in car 14. Grenier tries the inside down the back straightaway.
A huge slide job in 1 and 2. Here comes Harmon. Grenier's going to try to get him now into 3. They're side by side for 3rd. We've got a car around. No, he keeps it straight. The 4 was almost around. And the lead. The Oh, never mind. On the fours in the wall, hard out of two. Down the backstretch, he's going to lose fourth. He might lose fifth. He's got a right front down. Heartbreak for the number 4 of Colton Martin, but absolute happiness in the driver of the number 14 of Andrew Harmon. Second's going to go to Carlos Grenier. Third's going to go to Owen Zielinski. Fourth to Chris Conroy. And fifth to Chris Davis. We're going to be transitioning down to the track now for interviews with John, with the winner, the number 14 of Andrew Harmon.
It was a long way to get up there, but he done it twice here tonight. Car number 14H lands himself in Hudson International Speedway victory lane for the second time here tonight. He's going to show his face. Here he is. Andrew Harmon goes back to back. Man, Andrew, that was a little bit more work for you up on that one. You got almost spun down in turns 1 and 2, kept it straight, and drove right back through the field. Put on a damn good show for all the fans here at Hudson International.
Thanks, appreciate it. I guess people don't realize when someone's underneath them, but whatever. I had a good time. I want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank Harris Spray Foam, Tom Harwood, Justin Harris, my family, and everyone else. I'm going to DQ myself because I want to go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Andrew Harmon goes back to back in car number 14. One more main event tonight, a 25-lap bout for the New England Dwarf Car Series, going to end Final event of the night, going to hit the Speedway, 25 laps the distance. The New England Dwarf Car Series going to hit the Speedway for the second time this afternoon. Leading them out, going to be car number 08X on the pole, the rookie. That's good for Caden Roberts. Outside of him, in car number 94, brings us a veteran of the class. It's good for Doug Dawkins. Row number 2 on the inside brings us car number 25. Another rookie on the field is good for Timmy Griffith. And another rookie on the outside, the 7Z. You just saw him out here in pure stock competition. That's good for the Zielinski Heating and Cooling, number 7Z of Zach Zielinski. Next row on the inside, 5th on the grid, going to belong to the Flying Fireman. Behind the wheel of car number 67, it's Alan Robidas. Outside of him, car number 92Z, today being driven by Derek Plan B Marsan. 3-time Dwarf Car Champion. And car number 30 out of Plastown, New Hampshire, brings us Insane Dwayne Schofield. And outside of him, lettered up as the 31, today being driven by the driver of car number 12, brings us Sarah Cupcake Hodgson. Car number 72 on the inside of the next row. The driver hails out of Salem, New Hampshire. The Caveman Racing, Bumpy's Auto Repair, R&L Cycles, Prospect Taylors sponsors car number 72 for the Caveman, Kenny Scott. Outside of him, Pelair on the side of car number 31. The driver hails out of Pittsfield, New Hampshire. The defending series champion, Cody Hodgson. Next row on the inside, the Dairy Plumbing and Heating, Monster Energy, number 08 out of Derry, New Hampshire. It's Ryan Carmen. Next to the Oh No of Chris Sullivan out of Barrington. Feature 1 winner, the 29 New Hampshire of Justin Harris, lines up alongside the 23 of Jeremy Rodman. Stu McCormick, the 04, Cole Littlewood, the Superstar in the 73. Chris Waits, the 19, and Tom the Hulk Hart in car number 85 bring up the back as they come around to the double green. 25 laps, the New England Dwarf Car Series underway.
Off into 1 and 2, it's already 3 wide for second. The leader got a terrible start. We're 2 wide for fourth now, 2 wide for third, off into 3 and 4. The leader did not get a great start at all. He's back to third out of turn 4.
With a full field invert, the fast cars are coming from the back. That's the way, that's the tradition here in the New England Dwarf Cars. Here comes Alan Robidas on the inside for fourth.
Robidas in fourth. In third is going to be Nicholas Pogge. And we have off into 1 and 2, the leader, Douglas Dawkins. Through 1 and 2, now down the backstretch into 3 and 4. They're single file for the top 8.
I saw what you saw, Nick. About a lap ago, the 31 machine, the defending series champion, Cody Hodgson, had a hell of a save. Almost got piled up by the whole field in car number 31. They remain going straight with 3 laps in. It's Doug Dawkins in car number 94. Zach Zielinski, the 7C. Here comes Derek Marsan in car number 92Z.
Marsan versus Zielinski off into 1 and 2. Can Marsan get a nice run down the backstretch? It's not going to happen this time. Zielinski in second still.
Marsan in his rental ride. That's his first time racing that car, and he's doing quite the job. He's up to the third spot, reeling in second now. We're almost 3 wide down into turn number 1.
The 81 had a huge spin, a huge slide out of turn 4. It stacked the field up off into 3 and 4.
That is the 31 listed as the 12. It is Sarah Hodgson behind the wheel. Look at the top 3. Nick, we got ourselves a barn burner at the top side of the field.
The top 4, you can put a blanket over them. Everybody side by side. We got contact on the 4, but they keep it straight.
Robidas going to try the inside down into turn number 1 on the 92Z of Derek Marsan. Look at Caveman Kenny Scott up in the top 5.
Kenny Scott sitting there in 5th. Look at this battle for second is beginning to heat up. Contact on the 4. They're going to be side by side for third and a 1.
Oh!
Contact! Spin 2, 3 cars involved. And they get it all wound up. The caution will come out. We'll stack them back up, and we'll see what we can do again.
That was hard racing at the front of the field. And Alan Robidas in car number 67 shot down to the inside to make the move on the 92Z. Was very successful on that move, but didn't have the time to grab the brake pedal because the 7Z of Zach Zielinski was right there in the second spot. Both drivers got into each other, and around goes the 7Z of Zach Zielinski out of Granby, Massachusetts. A rough go there in the 67. either being told by race control or allotting himself to the back of the field. So Alan Robidas, I believe that's the second time today, not having a great go here at Hudson International Speedway. The Flying Fireman in car number 67. Gorgeous ride. Best appearing ride in 2022. It's a bad, fast race car. Good driver behind the wheel. But you know what, Nick? There's good nights in racing and there's bad nights in racing, and he's not having the greatest go at it here this afternoon. Just at the last time out at Lee USA Speedway, was having a great run, got spun off of turn 2, and got collected real hard in the right rear of that race car. You can see when he drives by the hard work that him and his crew put into that car to get it race ready to be here today. So he's probably battling some bugs trying to get the setup worked out. We know a lot of race cars, when they hit hard or get hit hard, they bend, and it's very slim to none chance that you hear the old saying that it was bent just the right way. That's a cliche. It does happen, but not often.
The percentage of vehicles that get hit on a racetrack and then get bent the right way, probably higher chances you win the lottery than that happen, because that is a race car driver winning the lottery right there. It makes the car faster.
Absolutely.
Doesn't happen often.
It does not. It does not. It does happen. People, like you said, somebody's got to win it. You know what I mean? So it's got to happen to someone. But, yeah, so Alan Robidas and the 7Z, both cars in question, will head to the backside of the field. The 72 machine of Kenny Scott will stay there. He was just on the outside avoiding the contact with the two cars in front of him. With nowhere to go, he's not going to be penalized for stopping. Caveman Kenny Scott, I'll tell you what, boy, he is flying here tonight. So he was a former, he raced street stocks up and down the East Coast for, it had to have been 25 years. Still has a NHSTRA late model that he races, but found himself in a car last year up at Riverside Speedway for a dwarf car race and fell in love and went out, bought himself a car. I think he was the first car show ready this year, ready to hit the racetrack. And his first laps turned in that car was right here at Hudson International Speedway. He's up in the top 5 in the points as a rookie in 2023, and he's looking just outside the top 3 here tonight, trying to grab his first ever piece of hardware with the New England Dwarf Car Series. He's got heavy hitters all around him. We're getting ready to do the dance, Nick. Doug Dawkins, Derek Marsan. Oh, that's real early. They come off the Bumbies Auto Restart zone. Lazy green flag is out.
Off into one, Marsan on the outside of Dawkins. They're going to be wheel to wheel, and the caution is out.
False start.
Yeah, they're going to wave that restart, get them stacked back up, try it again. They went way early as they entered the center of 3. Weren't even into 4 yet.
Yeah, Joe Breggy, your chief starter down there, saying, no way, guys. We're going to try that one again. Brian Callen up in all their ears, your race director here at the Family Fun Track, does an absolutely phenomenal job. We have 7 divisions tonight for feature racing in a short time to get it done, and he's the man. So here we go. Coming off of the Bumbies Auto Restart zone. Better that time. Still a little bit early, but we're going to let it fly. The green flag is out, down to the stripe. We're back underway.
Same thing as last time. Marsan on the outside of Dawkins, but he's not going to be able to get a good enough run this time. He's going to have a car to the inside. We almost had another battle for the lead, and Marsan's going to fall to 3rd as we enter turn 3 and 4.
The 3-time Dwarf Car Champion out of Plastown, New Hampshire. Car number 30 going to battle for the race lead. Here comes Dwayne Schofield to the bottom.
Schofield's going to brake early, try to accelerate late, but that allowed Justin Harris to get to his outside. Out of 4, they're side by side. Harris is going for the lead.
The Skull Bandit to the outside. Here comes Justin Harris. Schofield trying to pull even, but Dawkins leads him down into 3. Harris going to lead him off the corner to the stripe.
Harris with a power move on the outside.
Whoa, one around. The 67 machine of Alan Robidas goes for the spin cycle in turns 3 and 4.
He's really not having a good night.
He's not having a good night. There's a lot of changes you have to think also between now and then when they raced Feature 1. You got to remember, these guys did not get a heat race. They might have gotten an extra round of practice, but let's be real. Practice and a race, you're in 2 different mindsets. It's 2 completely different animals. You're going to start around everybody versus starting kind of spread out, giving each other some space, just trying to gain some time. You put them out there in a feature, and they had a pretty good go at it the first feature, had some cautions, but I will say the New England Dwarf Car Series, they bring a good car count. I mean,
not to mention that the practice was in the day with the sun beating on the track. First feature was with the sun beating down on the track. This second feature,
modified rubber.
Yeah, cover of darkness. There's more rubber on the track. The track's cooler. Whole different animal than they raced on 3 hours ago.
And also, we still have that aspect. We're only 10 laps into the 25-lap race. We're coming up on the halfway mark. But we did a complete invert, minus the cars that were a lap down from the finish of feature number 1 to set this lineup, which means the guy that was the last place car on the lead lap when that checkered flag flew, he was the pole car.
And look who's worked his way up to 8th.
Let me see how quick I can count. Oh, yeah, the 31 machine, the Pell Air-sponsored ride. Cody Hodgdon finds himself up in the 8th spot, just inside the top 10. With 15 laps to go, it's anybody's race. The guy I'm keeping an eye on is the driver of car number 29, New Hampshire. You can ask any guy in the field, really. Justin Harris has figured out these cars. It's got to be close to 10 years now that he's been racing these dwarf cars, and he's been fast for at least 8 of them. So he finds himself on the outside of Doug Dawkins in car number 94. Dawkins, a steady competitor, always runs up at the top side of the field, does not find himself in victory lane as much as he would like, but has a dang good shot at it right here. 2-time champion on the outside of him, a 3-time champion behind him, Derek Marsan, and the rookie in car number 72, Caveman Kenny Scott, going to round out the top 5, coming to the Bumpy's Auto Restart Zone. Joe Briggy looks him over, coming down to the stripe, we're underway.
Harris gets a fantastic restart as we go down and fire off into turn 1. He's going to be side by side with Dawkins, but he's going to clear him on the exit, and now Dawkins has challengers behind him.
Justin Harris able to motor away from the 2nd and 3rd place cars. 1 car breakaway. It's the Skull Bandit, Justin Harris. Ooh, Kenny Scott trying the inside of Derek Marsan. He'll stick it to the inside.
Kenny Scott down the backstretch on the inside of Marsan. He's got a little bit of help on the outside. Does Marsan with a little bit of bump off into 3.
He's about to have some help behind him. Here comes the defending series champion and Cody Hodgson with car number 31.
Hodgson just needs Kenny Scott to get gone so Hodgson can go through. Down the backstretch, Hodgins is now behind Kenny Scott.
Cody Hodgson in car number 31 gets his way up to the number 4 spot. We got a battle for second. Here comes Dwayne Schofield on the outside now of Doug Dawkins in car number 94. They drag race down the back.
Into 3 and 4. Schofield on the outside. He's going to get Dawkins on the way out of 4.
Got him.
He's going to clear him into 1.
Right down into turn 1. The 3-time dwarf car champion will take the 2nd spot away, and he's got a long way to go to catch the back Nerf bar. Car number 29, New Hampshire, Justin Harris. 10 fingers in the air. 10 to go at the line.
10 laps to go for Schofield to be able to catch Harris. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch Harris tonight. He's been on rails all afternoon. He fires it off into 3 and 4, and he's going to lead them to 9 to go.
Look at the 3-car battle here. Doug Dawkins trying to fend off Kenny Scott. Kenny Scott wants his first piece of dwarf car hardware here tonight. He's got the defending champion on his back door. He's got 1 car left to pass.
Hodgson's all over the back of Scott. Scott needs to get by him. Off into 1 and 2. They're going to be in a blanket there through 2. There's millimeters between these cars.
Oh, they're racing their hearts out. Kenny Scott wants it bad, but he's going to do it the right way if he wants it. Cody Hodgson right there on the back door trying to get the 4th spot away. Caveman wants the 3rd spot from Doug Dawkins, who pulls away, and we got problems on the back straightaway. Cody Hodgson is down.
Hodgson's got a flat left front tire. You see the sparks. That's going to take his good evening and turn it into a bad one. We turn our way back to the battle for 3rd, and it is heating up down the backstretch.
Kenny Scott has just relieved the pressure behind him. He's all eyes in front of him. It's the back door coming wide open of 94 Machina Doug Dawkins, who's trying to hold him at bay.
Scott versus Dawkins as they exit turn 2. Scott's all over the back bumper of Dawkins. He's going to try the outside, maybe not this time. He's getting him set up for a run. He's going to maybe make a move. He gets a little loose out of 4, and Dawkins is going to survive another lap.
Lap cars are in the mix. Doug Dawkins is holding on to the third spot. They're all chasing Justin Harris, who's run away. Where did Ryan Carmen come from? The 08 machine out of Derry, New Hampshire is reeling him in.
Ryan Carmen has said, hey, if you guys are going to battle for fourth, I'm going to put myself in this. I want this. Carmen is coming fast.
2 laps remain at the start-finish line for the 29 New Hampshire of Justin Harris. Look at the battle coming down to the start-finish line.
Scott all over Dawkins through 1 and 2. He's going to be on his back bumper down the backstretch. The leader takes the white flag out of 4. The battle for third rages on. Can Kenny Scott get him out of 4, down into 1 and 2. Down the backstretch through 3 and 4. Justin Harris is going to win his feature. Second is going to be Schofield, and it looks like Doug Dawkins is going to hold on to third. What a battle for third there. Fourth is going to be Kenny Scott. Fifth will be Ryan Carmen. Justin Harris wins your final race of the night here this evening. What a drive by Justin Harris. We're going to send it down to our post-race interviews with your winner, Justin Harris, with our announcer, John.
We're down here in New England Dwarf Car Victory Lane after the second 25-lapper. We'll get him over to the front side of the car. How about a big round of applause for your third-place finisher here tonight, Doug Dawkins in car number 94. Man, Doug, can't win the show, be the show. You guys were putting on the absolute battle. I mean, you had you and Kenny Scott right behind you putting on a good show. You had to weave it out through the top 3 and lap traffic coming through you, but come out solid with a solid piece of hardware here tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I thought he was going to get me, then I saw the lap traffic, and I thought, yeah, I had a chance to stay alive there, so it worked out for us. But got to thank Stevie and Chris. They put this thing all back together this week, so we'll see.
Absolutely. You got any other sponsors down here? Any other teammates you got to thank?
Thank my wife, Allison, Victoria, Dwayne for giving me space. Just all good group of guys.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Dawkins, your third-place finisher, rolling on up to the runner-up position. How about a round of applause for this guy? Dwayne Schofield drives car number 30. And, Dwayne, we know this is one of your best tracks, and you showed it here today with 2 strong runs. I mean, you get up to the second spot. Not enough to grab Justin, but enough to pull away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough for Justin today, but I want to thank Dan Poliquin Welding, and Jimmy Ryder for putting the car back together because we hit the wall at Star and you know, was working pretty good. We just had problems in the first race, and you know, Justin just had a little bit too much and stuff. I want to thank Ben and American Races and stuff for helping us out.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne Schofield comes home in your runner-up position. And back down here, back-to-back here this afternoon, Justin Harris drives car number 29, New Hampshire. Well, Justin, again, man, this thing was bad fast. Once you got out front, it was just gone. Smooth sailing for you, clear track ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, once you gave me that $1,000 you owed me, I put it into this car, and it's worked out really well. Shout out to Bob Williams. I know he's watching at home. Thanks for all your help. I don't know what to say. 2 for 2. I'll take it, and we'll move forward.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Harris takes the final checkered flag of the afternoon. That'll do it for us here at the Hudson International Speedway here today. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are not racing next week. We are back in action on the 13th of August with the Open Pro Stocks, New England Pro Truck Challenge, as well as the MLM Diagnostic Services Pure Stocks, and the return of the Northeast Auto Import late models. That'll do it from us here tonight. I want to give a big shout out to Nick Adams, who was up in the booth here with me all afternoon. That was his first time announcing live races, his first time here at Hudson Speedway with all these drivers. So big shout out to him. On behalf of your track owner, Ben Bazowski, your general manager, Steve Grand, your two flagmen, Matt Johnson and Joe Breggy. As always, my name is John Espernette, the voice of the Hudson International Speedway, reminding you that this is not goodbye, but a see you next time. Speed safely, ladies and gentlemen.